The Drew Yari Show.
You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
What's going on, guys? It is the first show of the new year. The first Drew Yari show of the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Apparently, I don't know if you can say that anymore, but I'm going to say it. Happy New Year. It is Wednesday. We're starting at 9:36 p.m. Central Time, wherever it is you're at, Eastern Pacific. And it's a four-man band tonight. Joining me tonight is, he was here last week for my year-end show. RJ, what's going on, RJ?
What's going on, Drew? What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. And making his Yari show debut from the Brother Monty podcast, which also happens to have RJ on. Brother Monty, what's going on, man?
Yo, what it do, man? How's everything?
Great as usual. Now that you're here, and the fourth man to this equation is apparently my father, Kevin Castle.
Yeah, your mother better be hot. It's Kevin Kev Castle.
That's classic Kevin Castle.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Kathleen Yari is a saint, okay? I'm playing.
Hey, if he's asking about people's moms, then he's automatically Ric Flair, and we're automatically Evolution. Come on, people. Come on.
Oh,
man.
there we go. I'm not 80.
Come on, man.
I'm 50.
Come on.
Jesus.
Oh, man. So, anyways, Kev, like I was mentioning, right before we started, we were, talking about the events that transpired today. Not New Year's Evil, New Year's Eve, not just yet, but basically everything that was happening at the Capitol. We already kind of said our piece. I know you wanted to talk about it tonight, so go ahead, man.
Well, how did you guys leave off? I mean, what did you want to talk about? Just what happened in general, the person who died? I mean, what were you guys just covering everything, or just
kind of basically everything? Not everything almost, but just like the bits and pieces of it. But overall, like, what are your thoughts about everything that transpired?
I thought it was stupid. I mean, again, that kind of stuff doesn't lead to anything other than what happened to that girl who died, and I didn't even know she died. They still haven't given a lot of information about it. I was actually even watching the news trying to find out about her because she didn't look like some radical person. I was even thinking that she was just a victim of bad circumstances, but they didn't really release anything on her yet, and that she actually died. Which is a shame, and it was from law enforcement bullet. So, I mean, just, it's headshot. What a waste of life and a waste of, I can only imagine, being the only person to take a bullet for what? For Trump, for anybody. First of all, I mean, neither side is worth taking a bullet for at all. I mean, there's nothing that's going to change. The election is over. It's, this is a done deal. This is a fruitless effort, a ridiculous, fruitless effort that's going to lead to nothing. I was shocked by the crowd size and how many people actually showed up on a Wednesday in January to this thing. And I think, and I had this discussion with Julian Cannon before I was on their show. I don't think it drops till like tomorrow or later this week. But what I said was we were talking about the police reaction. And my thought process on it is that they were ill prepared because the truth of the matter is these Trump tards and people who followed Trump never really did anything. They were all mostly mouth about it. They never, they don't have a track record of fighting the police or burning buildings or getting violent. They talk guns. They show Instagram pictures. They don't really do anything. And I think that the police didn't expect to storm the walls like this. They caught them by surprise. And the debate I had on that other show was that police should be prepared at all times. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I know people in law enforcement, and again, I highly doubt, just like nobody could predict we're in year 10 of the coronavirus still on lockdown. Nobody thought that this group of Trump people was anything more than mouth and that actions were going to be taken like that against law enforcement. I just think they were ill prepared, not because, leave the whites alone. That's not what it is. It's that they did not expect these people to do what they did because there's no real track record of it. And they were just going by, there's going to be a rally. They're going to be talking shit, bullhorns. No one's going to come after us or storm the walls. That's not. I'm telling you, I guarantee in any police meeting they had, they're like, well, if everybody tries to go over the perimeter, no one was thinking that. And again, you could say, well, they still should have been better prepared. Yeah, perhaps. But the fact of the matter is they weren't. It'll never happen again. I can tell you right now. They caught them off guard today, but that won't happen ever again. And again, I feel, because I don't think the girl who was killed was one of these radical types. I think she was just there. Is like, not, and if that's the case, I would be so pissed.
Right.
As her family and stuff like that. That's the one who takes the bullet in this whole thing. It should have been one of these leaders or one of these mouthy guys who storm the walls and encourage people to do this. And of course, just like you guys know, in that a couple of years ago with that car that ran people over, it was some girl who didn't deserve it. It wasn't any kind of, girl who was, so she was just there to support. And it's always somebody innocent who eats the bullet or takes the death. It's never one of the leaders, the militant leaderships of any of these groups. It's always some, hanger on or someone who's just there. I'm just there.
Yep.
So I think that's just really the shame of it. And I think I was hoping in the new year the divisiveness would taper down and, we accept the election results. We still are battling this coronavirus. That should be the first thing on all of our minds, is getting back to work, making money again, getting back to the lives we all need to live instead of being bunkered down half the time now, new wave and this and that. I'm like, oh man. So I don't even know if people have time for this politics shit. I mean, the coronavirus is the only thing that's on my mind, affects my industry. I mean, I'm watching these people go at it for what? And nothing's going to change. They should be worried about, and Trump had his shot with coronavirus and failed. So give this dude Biden a chance. And if Biden fails, then we bounce him out in 4 years. I mean, this is what this country is. It's every 4 years somebody new gets the title.
Right.
I don't know why these middle-aged people are pretending that they don't know this. These are people my age who are all up about this today. The one thing I thought in common is like everybody I looked to be around middle age.
Amen, Kevin.
So I mean, I'm going to take up too long about this because I want to have more. I'm sure you guys want to have more of an up-tempo show. But I just kind of feel bad that somebody got killed, and I take no whether what side it was on. I mean, even people saying heinous shit like, "Oh, you shouldn't have been there." I'm like, "Oh, come on," I just that kind of shit is like just not necessary. And I think that I think the Trump people just have to accept this is over, and that's it. Move on. And in 4 years, elect the Rock, or something, or Tulsi Gabbard, or maybe some new, maybe Chris Evans will run for president. If Biden fails, bounce him out, and then go the other way again. I mean, Trump had his shot, and now this guy's got his shot, and that's it. That's the way I look at it.
Hey, Kevin, I feel like with this election, it's like you got to take the one who's like the lesser evil, basically, in this election.
I agree, and that's a shame that we even have to say that.
Say it like that, yeah, right, exactly.
That's the shame of it. It's like we're in America in the year that we're in, and the technology, and we don't have any viable candidates except two men in their mid to late 70s.
Seriously,
like we had other people on like Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, people of color, women and stuff, who will come down the pike. Maybe 8 years from now, they'll be ready for prime time. It's almost like they're in like the NXT of politics right now. You know what I mean? Like the up and comers, like they're not ready for prime time yet. But then again, Obama wasn't, and I thought he was a pretty good president. He was a pretty good president who got elected twice.
Right.
So the Trump experiment failed. I think Trump's legacy now is shit, and it's too bad because he could have left off. He could have left off with Vine for the more money for people and stuff, and at least do one nice thing even though Mitch McConnell fucked it up, but leave off on, hey, look, I'm trying to get you guys more money. Let me do something good on the way out. And instead, on the way out, he's causing anarchy. And this is just horrible, man. It's just a shitty thing. Thank God wrestling was on tonight because I was so depressed watching.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
I third that. 100%, 1,000%. I third that.
I felt that, bro. And the crazy part was I was at work all day, so I had to just sit there and just try to be as nice as possible to people and help people. I'm just like, yo, fuck everybody, man.
Exactly. That's what I said today. I was like, I can't stand everybody. You know,
right.
At this point, I don't want to hear from anybody. So again, wrestling was a good escape to that. I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely we'll get into it. But yeah, it's just to kind of close it off, because like we said, we don't want to make this a downer of a show, but I mean, Kevin hit the nail on the head. It's just, Trump could have done a lot more. He could have done so much. I was telling RJ and Monty, Trump has a problem with not elaborating on things that he says, because he'll say, like the Make America Great Again. It's like, he could have came back and said, what I mean by that is I'm not saying take every minority and send them back to their country. I'm saying, financially, let's make America great again. Let's go back to the, booming economy, and, the whole Proud Boys thing. Like, I don't get why he couldn't just easily say, I don't represent you. I don't represent, you as the president. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to please the people that actually need help, and blah, 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 blah. You guys are scum. I don't get why he couldn't just say, you guys are scum. Plain and simple. But, yeah, Trump, he could have done a lot more, but he decided to just be pigheaded about it.
Well, you know what it is? It's like anybody who's got a rabid fan base, even like when some of these, whether it's a heavy metal guy, hip hop artist, someone who's controversial, Marilyn Manson, whatever, they have their base that loves them no matter what. And if they even think that they're not going to grab any new fans by saying something off the cuff against their fan base, they're like, wait, I'm not going to get any new fans, and I'm going to lose my core fans. Fuck that! I'm just not going to say nothing. So that's what he's doing. He's like, yeah, I want to say something against Proud Boy, but the left isn't going to like me anyway, so I'm not going to say nothing. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much, and I'm sure there's people behind the scenes that tell him, you know what, just don't say anything, because then you'll isolate yourself from this. Then you'll have this group hating this group. And again, it's politics is like entertainment. It's like, they're looking at their Twitter following and their hits and merch they sell and hats they sell, and they don't want to upset the foundation, and it's whether it's right or wrong. Believe me, there are people in the area going, yeah, I know you should condemn that death, but if you say something, you're going to lose thousands of followers. Oh, you know what? Then I'm not going to say nothing. So, that's sick, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's no different. I think everybody's like that. It's absolutely, it's playing, literally it's political games. That's what it is. It's a game. It's a chess game. Should I make this move? Should I try to go after this guy's king? No, that's going to lose me. Okay, I'm going to stay put. I'm just going to stay right there.
Right.
I'm not going to let him make a move. Let him say something. I'm not going to say anything. So again, it's we think we're thinking as human beings.
Right.
You got to think like an entertainer or a politician.
Right.
Don't get all human being on us now. You know what I mean? You can't do that. That's the problem. It's like we're thinking like we're four dudes, regular guys having a conversation. None of us here are privileged guys. None of us are in the 1% here. I don't think so. I mean, Drew might have some money that I don't know about, but imagine Drew Logan's like an oil millionaire. We don't even know it.
Man.
But that's what I mean. Yeah, you think like,
hey, don't put my business on blast.
Exactly. Sorry, Joe. Sorry. I want a new Ferrari, by the way. So yeah, I mean, we're thinking like decent human beings, and there's no place for decent human beings in politics. Sounds crazy, but that's the truth.
Right. And hey, let me ask you guys all this: when, I feel like I had for a split second, I thought he was gonna just, take his L, just be like, you know what, I lost. And then I thought to myself, I was like, nah, this is Donald Trump. He's probably just kind of try to make something out of this. And you know what? Sure enough.
Yeah, he can't lose gracefully. It's just not in his genetic makeup. He's a rare breed. But then again, he still has his following. And don't think he loses anything today. Even if they kick him off of Twitter, which I don't think that they will. I've been watching that. I know they froze him out, I think.
For like 12 hours. for like
But
12 hours.
I think there's money to be made with him on social media. I think Twitter will keep him on board. I mean, imagine kicking him off. I mean, what has he got? 88 million followers? Is he got like one of the top 10 most followers in Twitter history? So again,
Sheesh.
I think it's 88 million.
Sheesh.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it's
Yeah, that's a
insane.
lot.
It's like that's fucking unbelievable. But I think again, and I don't know, taking off Twitter is the way to do it. I mean, maybe it's censoring him or whatever. I don't know what that's going to do. But again, as much as people denounce him, they're enabling him, and social media is not going to do that because
Right.
they'll lose something out of it. It's money,
Right.
Yep,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right, Kev. So you guys just want to jump into New Year's Eve already?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
So, anyways, New Year's Eve was tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they didn't make it a takeover, but I
Right.
get why, whatever. But yeah, New Year's Eve. I'm looking at the card, even though I just watched it. I just want to make sure I have everything in order. So the first match to kick off the night was Karrion Kross versus Damian Priest singles match, and I said it the best way I could. There wasn't anything pretty or fancy about this match. It's just two tattooed guys just beating the fuck out of each other.
Right.
And I liked the match. I was very pleasantly surprised. I mean, not pleasantly surprised. I was very happy with how the match went. It's something different to see nowadays, mainly because we're so used to kicks and flips and everything else. And when you actually see two men, like two guys that actually look like manly men, from like the 80s, just beating the fuck out of each other and just having a fight, not even a match, just a fight. It's rewarding, and we need more of that. And I'm happy that we're the big man era is kind of slowly but surely coming back.
Amen.
What's everybody else's thoughts on the match? Whoever wants to start.
Well, I'll let you guys go first, Kevin.
Hey man, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. Kross and Priest, man, they put on a really good match, man. And Kross, man, that dude looks like a beast, man. That guy's a fucking animal. And I mean, Kevin, we all been fans of his for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I know, especially you and I. We've been fans of his for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So watching him do his thing is just a privilege and an honor. There goes that word privilege again. But it's definitely an honor to see this guy continue to grow as a performer, as a character. Like, he's got it down pat. He's a future superstar. Me and you talked about it before. Future superstar. They cannot mess this guy up. Priest, rock star, carries himself very, very well. Can't say anything bad about him either. They put on a nice match, man. That told a good story with Kross working over his back and ribs area, and they really went at it, man. And I liked it. Very, very impressive. And a great way to kick off the show. I'm glad they didn't kick off with the women, even though that match was good too, and we'll get to that later. But Kross and Priest was definitely a good hot start.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to that because I was pretty hyped for this matchup for a while. Like, I was really anticipating watching this match, and I feel like for me, it definitely delivered. RJ, Drew, too. Freaking out. Damian Priest is my guy. I feel like him being from New York City and being Puerto Rican really hits close to home for me. So he performed. I just like how they went like just blow for blow like each time, and then that whole "I'm still standing, bitch" like that was a pretty fitting ending and a nice way. If he's on his way out, definitely a nice way for him to go out. He put what a performance. That freaking, it looks scary, RJ, man. That middle rope front flip, oh my god, it looks like he's about to land on his head, bro. It's so scary. But when he lands it, it's like there's no way he just did that shit. But it was great, guy. I liked it. Like RJ said, it was a pretty good opener. It really kept you,
Set the tone.
Yeah, exactly. Anticipated what's going on for the next match. So I agree.
Yeah, no, same. I echo the same comments. I like both guys. I like Kross a little bit more on a personal level, but I like Priest too. I liked him when he was Punishment Martinez. I always thought he could be something when I used to see him in Ring of Honor. I used to even say he looks like the size of the guy. He should be in WWE. And he very much echoes a modern version of Razor Ramon.
Yep.
A lot of Scott Hall in him. Except Scott Hall's never leaped over the top or done kicks or anything, but he's got like swagger of Scott Hall, the way he talks. Even I'm expecting him to say "Hey yo" in every interview. And I'll tell you, it would probably get over if he did do that. And I don't think Scott Hall would mind. Scott Hall has actually even commented that he loves Damian Priest and actually considers it an honor that he uses the Razor's Edge and stuff like that. So,
that's dope.
And even the gear he wears too. He's got the blood.
Gear.
Yeah,
because people even say to me, "Oh, what Razor?" I'm like, he's clearly influenced by Razor Ramon. You don't see it, and people are like, "Oh, because he's Latin." I'm like, "No, because he is. Look at him."
Look at him.
Scott Hall is German, so it's just like I says, playing a Cuban guy. So again, I think Martinez maybe an inch or two taller. Maybe that's the only difference, and a little leaner. Scott was always kind of a thick guy. But again, he's got the martial arts in his repertoire. I think he could be better when it's all said and done than Scott Hall ever was, because he's got so much more in the chamber than Scott had. Scott was a ground guy. You never saw Scott Hall go to the top ever, barely ever. So he's got a lot. He's lean. If he could stay injury free, I think he'll do very well on the main roster. Bring him as a babyface. He could be a challenger to Roman Reigns. Maybe even start a little beef with Roman Reigns.
That would be tough.
Let him come out. I'm just speculating. If I nail this on the head, then give me the props for it. That I just thought of it as creative.
Kevin, shut up and take my money, bro.
Well, I'm thinking he debuts this Friday and comes out during a Roman Reigns promo. I think that he almost pulls a Chris Jericho, what Chris Jericho did during the Rock's promo back in 2000. I think that, or 99, I think that that's what they can do, and just get him right there. Not in the main event, but get him on Reigns' radar. Yeah. Remember, Reigns has to play around with somebody or have some matches before Daniel Bryan really gets going in his feud, because everyone's thinking that it's Bryan versus Reigns at Mania, but I'm still going to go by, and we can talk about this later, but just to throw it out there, I'm thinking it's a unification at WrestleMania, and Reigns beats Goldberg, who beats Drew. We need Reigns on Raw, and that's how they justify it. That's just my thought. That's just my thought of this whole Goldberg thing. We can get any. I think it's Cross versus Balor at Mania. In my opinion, I think that's what's happening. They saved that, so I'm kind of glad he didn't, so it doesn't give it away. But now you're going to see what Cross has nothing to do. But it'll be WrestleMania time, so that's going to be the match. Cross's next guy is the champion, and extend his title back.
Well, I was going to say, there was, I forget which website reported it, that there was an NXT, superstar that was supposed to appear on SmackDown recently, and then they put the kibosh on that. And the talk is that it was Damian Priest.
I heard Ciampa.
Yeah.
Ciampa's already said that he doesn't want to be on the main roster.
No, but I heard that Tommaso Ciampa was a name too because of the fact that he would repay Kevin Owens back for helping him out in last year's War Games. And that was a name that was tossed. I forgot. I think it was Ringside News, which may or may not be reliable, but logically it does make sense. So, but I heard Priest too. I heard both names thrown around.
So, are we speculating Damian Priest to basically debut this Friday or next week?
I think he'll debut this Friday if they fast track him, because they want to keep SmackDown strong. Yeah. SmackDown's coming off of good.
Yeah, ratings. SmackDown's pretty dope.
And I think they want to remember Keith Lee lost one night and the next night was on Raw.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he lost on Cross and he was on Raw next night. So a few days, a few days for it depends. They might even say let Priest sell the ribs a little bit, and we'll debut him next week. But he'll be on either this Friday or next Friday. I am banking on that.
That's pretty dope.
Maybe next Friday is more sense because they might want to kayfabe it a little bit and say 2 days later now his ribs are fine. But maybe next week. But don't be surprised you see him this week. But he's definitely SmackDown bound.
Yeah.
Damian Priest. Damian Priest is done with NXT.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I can't wait. I'm hoping, like you said, he's like, big guy. So I'm hoping, he can't get, ruined.
I mean,
No, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I think he will be too.
I think the best thing to do, since he's supposed to be selling, being hurt, save him for the Rumble.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like here's what you do: you advertise on the week of the Rumble on SmackDown, saying, Damian Priest is coming to SmackDown next week, and he debuts at the Rumble. So I mean that seems like that'd be the best thing to do. I wouldn't want to fast track him just yet,
Yeah.
because like Kev mentioned, he's supposed to be selling that he's hurt, and if he appears on SmackDown, he's 100%. It's like, are you supposed to be like, I don't know, having hurt ribs or something? But
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, SmackDown's the place to go for him, because again, SmackDown, it's kind of a universal, not even really an opinion, but a fact, is that SmackDown is the better show.
Yep.
And plus,
hands down.
And plus, they need more presentable baby faces to go up against Roman Reigns, by the way, too. Because the babyface side on SmackDown is very, very short. Yeah. So they need somebody that's credible, that looks good, that looks presentable to go up against Roman Reigns. That's believable.
Right. And Priest versus Roman, that's money. That's a money matchup. That's
Vince's wet dream right there.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's
too
pretty
long.
Crazy.
Two long-haired, suntan brothers with long wet hair. Oh man, that's Vince's wet dream right there.
That seems more like a matchup you'd want to save for like a big pay-per-view. Not like a throwaway pay-per-view, but I mean, either way, I'd still be happy to see it. But that seems more like a main event of like SummerSlam or Survivor Series or
definitely
Mania. So, but
that's why you debut him at the Rumble, to kind of avoid that, so that way you can save it and just let the man gain momentum until it's that time for him to face Roman Reigns at a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, right. Because I think if you automatically push him, there's gonna be that thing of like this guy was supposed to be great and he just lost. Granted, exactly. He's going to lose. Granted, he's going to lose to Roman Reigns, but like, you want to build him because, again, and I always say this: not everybody watches NXT.
Exactly.
The fans don't always watch NXT, so you want to build him up, to the fans, because guys like us, we already know how good he is, but
right,
the casual fans that strictly just watch Raw and SmackDown, especially the casual fans, they don't know who he is. So
yeah, it's true.
You want to build him up. So, but,
and you would think they will watch it too because it's on TV now. That's the funny part. Well, granted that AEW is on the same night, so I guess certain people, decide to watch that, which is fine. I don't really care, but so I get it. There's factors.
Right. And another thing I'm going to say about Cross before he gets to the next match is that I noticed in his matches, like, they're not squash matches, but he comes off as very dominant. And what I mean by that is, like, he'll, kick ass and then he'll get his ass kicked, but he gets up like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And it's not like when John Cena was being booked as Super Cena. It's more so of like, I just thought of this right now. It's like, yeah, I'm getting my ass beat, but I'm not going to show it. Like, I'm really hurting, but I'm not going to let him know that I'm hurting.
He's too proud of a man.
Yeah, like, he's the alpha. He's going to work like an alpha.
Uh-huh.
And I like that they don't book him as a chicken shit heel. Like, for example...
They can't do that, man. You see the size of that man?
No, well, because, again, it's WWE, but, like, I'm saying, like, case point last week, whenever he came on stage, during, Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor, there's that great camera shot of just it, panning away, and you just see Damian Priest like looking at him, and Cross, just looking completely unbothered, just turns around and goes, "Can I help you, Mr. Priest?" Like,
that was so smooth.
I like that. I like that he's, they book him as just a strong, badass heel, and we don't get many of those nowadays. And it's
with good reason.
That line itself, bro.
When you look like Karrion Kross, right? I mean, especially in that setting, the badass leather jacket, the clothes he was wearing, just the whole overall image of him. How can you make this man be like, ooh, back away, like, oh, Mr. Priest, I didn't mean anything by that, and this, that, and the other, and turn around and sucker punch him. Nah, man, he should be a guy that should just walk up to him. Mr. Priest, can I help you? Yeah, I beat your ass last week, and I'll do it again. Test me. And then, bam, punch him right in the mouth. Like, come on. He's got to be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and Kevin can attest to this because Kevin, worked, nightclubs and, booking bands. He's that guy you see in a bar that, again, looks like Cross, tattoos, muscles, wear the leather jacket and jeans. And if you try and start shit with him, he'll just give you that look of like, can I help you? And then he'll just beat the shit out of you and go fuck his hot girlfriend right afterwards. Like that's how that's how much he's a man. He's a man's man. Like he's a man's man. That's the best way to describe it.
Did you guys know the cross is actually Latin? Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I knew that. He's Puerto Rican too.
Yeah,
I actually found that out.
A lot of people don't know because his name is Kevin. So I was like,
and Kevin, he's from New York too. He was born in New York.
Yeah, he was born in New York and then moved around a lot because his father worked in the boxing industry, was a corner man for a lot of guys. His father actually worked for, you guys know who Roberto Duran is, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, he worked for a bunch of boxers.
That's awesome.
Welterweights and middleweights. So that's where he got his whole thing for fighting. His father was on the road a lot, so that's why he got into watching wrestling because his dad was away in boxing circle. So that was his whole thing.
Right.
Was fighting growing up. A lot of people
That's
don't
cool.
know that much about it. I'm sure as he gets to be a bigger star, he'll do like interviews and reveal certain things that people don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting fun fact about him.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. You really do learn something new every day. That's true.
Yeah, because there's that one episode of NXT where he, approached what the fuck is his name? The guy who's playing T-Bar right now.
Dijakovic.
Yeah.
Dijakovic, yeah. He approaches him backstage and then he starts speaking Spanish out of nowhere. I'm like, how is he speaking Spanish that well?
Yeah, that was tough.
I just looked up his, his past. I'm like, oh, he's actually Hispanic. His name is Kevin Cersei or what? Like, is that it? Like, that's how you say it?
I don't really know how to pronounce his last name. Actually, it's something like that. Yeah.
Isn't it Kizar or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, Kazar. I'm sorry.
Kazar. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, learn something new every day. But next match is the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. You got Santos Escobar, champion, defending against Grand Metalik. Probably in my opinion, probably my least favorite match. Here's the thing about Escobar is that he looks like something, and I made the comment on Twitter is that he's the Cruiserweight champion, but he looks more physically imposing than the NXT champion.
True.
Yep.
And, and the North American champion. It's weird because I like Escobar and I really want to root for him and get behind him, but it's just like he's not really in any good feuds for that title. And
that's right.
Metalik, I mean, I think he's good and everything, but it's just like he's like that's really my feeling about him. It's just like
which is a shame. It's a shame.
I'll take him or leave him, but Escobar, I like him. He has a good look. I mean, he can talk, and he has an interesting faction behind him. But it's just like he hasn't really been in a feud that interests me. And granted, it's the Cruiserweight Championship, so who are you going to have against him as a viable contender? But overall, what'd you guys think? Whoever wants to start.
Here's my thing about it, because I think for one, Santos Escobar is one of those people where you don't really get a guy that can speak good English, speak the Spanish well, and then go back to speaking the English perfect. That's something Vince wants Andrade to do, but Andrade can't do it. And that's no knock to him. It's hard, that's hard to just pick it up on the fly and try to learn it as fast as you can. But Santos has that. He has that look like you guys are talking about, but that Cruiserweight title is holding him down. That's it. Legado de Fantasma can be fighting UE. They can be fighting Imperium. They should be going after guys like that. They can be having all different type of war game type of matches. But seriously, I don't know. I agree. And this match was always given that one and done type of feel. So you kind of already knew what was gonna happen at the end of the day. So I can agree. I just enjoyed the match for what it was, I guess, because Grand Metalik was going crazy. But other than that, you kind of just knew the outcome in a way. But yeah,
Yeah. For me, like you said, Monty, I enjoyed it for what it was, and Santos Escobar finally fighting to see who the real cruiserweight champion is. But to be honest with you, and Monty, me and you've been saying this ever since last summer. They need to get rid of that cruiserweight championship. It's a crying shame when the cruiserweight champion, like Drew said, looks more imposing. And there's no knock to Finn Balor or Johnny Gargano, but they look like grade school children compared to Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar looks like a grown man. He looks very imposing.
Hey, Finn Balor's shredded. Okay, that's fucked up, bro.
Yeah, but he's small.
I know. I get it.
Let me say
And
something.
I love Finn Balor.
It's like do the casual fan test, and
exactly
it's one of those things of like, okay,
yep. I know,
bring somebody who's hasn't watched wrestling in a very long time, and show them Santos Escobar and show them Finn Balor, and tell them one of them is the world champion. Try to guess who.
Yeah,
and they'll go, oh, it's a Hispanic guy. Nope, it's the skinny, pretty Irish guy. Are you fucking kidding me? Like that. Unfortunately, that's what they'll say because, and again, I love Finn Balor. I'm a Finn Balor fan, but it's just, calling a spade a spade.
Right.
Santos is somebody that, should, like, when you look at him, he's the total package. He should be in a feud with, Dispute Era, with Adam Cole, with, against Finn Balor for the title, and that cruiserweight title, I think, is really hurting him more than helping him.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the belt that Leon Ruff should be fighting over. Him and Gargano. Shit.
Right.
Like, seriously. Like, does Triple H know what he's doing?
No, he do to a certain extent, bro.
Leon Ruff was fighting for the North American Championship, whereas guys like Isaiah Swerve Scott and Santos Escobar have to fight for the Cruiserweight title. Are you fucking... Leon Ruff is all of 78 pounds, man. I can't convince me that cat is over 100 pounds, bro. Y'all ain't gonna sit here and tell me that. This man is beating Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. Come on, I gotta stop playing with me, man.
Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I to be honest with you, that was the one time I got taken out of it a little bit because I was on the phone. I was watching it like half-assed as I was on the phone, and that was like the match I figured I could afford to kind of miss a little bit. So, I mean, Escobar is a talent. Again, he needs to get into more meaningful feuds. His opponents are not very, Swerve Scott and all this are not really that over. So again, he had another opponent tonight that's not that over. So again, he's got to get into something with something meaningful, like you said. Who that is, off the top of my head, maybe Cameron Grimes. Maybe Cameron Grimes. I don't know, because at least there'll be a lot of shit talking and a lot of promo time and back and forth and a little maybe comedy that might be needed to, lighten up. See if he can hang. Yeah, I don't know about Ciampa. I mean, wasn't Ciampa's match was canceled tonight, right? With
yeah, Thatcher got hurt.
Thatcher.
Did they say why?
Yeah.
Thatcher got hurt.
Oh, Thatcher got hurt. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even aware of that. But yeah, maybe Grimes, because Grimes is a smaller guy. He can go for that belt. He fits in that size category, and I don't really know what they're going to do with Grimes at this point. Just a little bit of a different opponent instead of another like lucha style. Even though Swerve Scott is not a lucha, but to me, he might as well be.
Yeah,
isn't Swerve Scott now a heel too? So
yeah, he's a heel now.
Heel. So they needed like a babe. Well, they got what's his name, the guy who cried and then he was fired and then they hired him back.
Maverick?
Yeah, Maverick. I mean, but I don't know if he's worth anything without his partner at this point.
Kevin, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You think if they build Jake Atlas enough that he could really, really go for it, like the baby face, like Hispanic going against like the heel baby face, like the heel like Hispanic type?
I haven't really I haven't paid that much attention to Jake Atlas. I mean,
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm just asking.
yeah, no, maybe he can be. I don't know. People seem to like him, but I haven't really paid that much attention to him. I knew him from the Independents, and then when he came here, I think his first night in, he got beat down, or they kind of treated him like a jobber his first time in.
Yeah.
But now he's getting, but that seems to happen to everybody. I don't take that as anything. If someone comes into NXT, loses their debut, or anything, that doesn't mean anything. But I don't know. Jake Atlas, maybe he could be something. I think they need to get some more new faces in there now if they're going to bring up guys like Priest, because obviously one guy in, one guy out, one guy gets moved up, one guy gets moved over. So I mean, I'm wondering who that is. I mean, I know they have those.
Oh God,
they have the
Josh
Rascals.
Briggs.
Well, they got the Rascals who are ready to come up from Impact, who are in developmental training right now. They keep them off tape, but those guys are pretty good. I mean, I think
they are.
They could, and even individually, those guys are not bad. So they can hang with Escobar and his crew. I think the Rascals are probably going to be brought up to feud with those dudes. They need some new.
I don't think all
guys. You know,
they haven't signed all three of them. They only signed 2 out of the 3.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that I think that they have TV experience and they they've been on major shows and pay-per-views. So why not? I mean, again, they have to. They need some new faces.
They do.
Exciting, and they need a good baby face. Too many heels in fucking NXT.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Everybody's a heel, actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of heels, Drew Yari, what do you think?
Well, as the best heel in podcasting. They're unfortunately, with guys like Priest being called up, and Rhea pretty soon is going to get called up.
Yeah,
that there's a scarce of a lot of top talent, especially faces, because who do we have as a face? Like Adam Cole, but Adam Cole hasn't really been doing much. I mean, it's only a matter of time before he gets called up.
Right.
Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, I love Kyle O'Reilly, but I mean, is he really a top guy?
True.
Cross is your badass. He is your badass heel that people are still going to cheer for. I mean, don't get it twisted. Don't let the fake audience booing, fool you. If the pandemic never happened, Cross would be getting cheers. Like you would see people wearing shirts. Which, on a side note, I actually ordered 2 Cross shirts that are on sale on the
nice.
Yeah, on the shopzone.com. So
that fallen prey chant.
Yeah, Drew. I was just about to say that he would have like a legit like section in the crowd where people would just like bow down and go fallen.
Yeah, and
praise. Like, it will go crazy. They will go crazy for him.
Yeah, what are they going to do when the crowds come back and everyone, which I predict will be probably SummerSlam, which seems to be even medically, doctors even say in the summertime. But if that's the case, what are they going to do when Reigns and Cross and their top heels start getting cheered? I wonder what they're gonna do, if they're gonna dumb it down with audio. It should be interesting.
Well, yeah, I know, right? Would you? Okay, so you wouldn't give them like the Austin Rock treatment?
I would, but I think WWE again, they're just they don't want anything to go off plan, off schedule. I mean, I think Reigns is going to be a heel for a while. I don't even think this year. I think 2021. As a matter of fact, I think he'll be the dominating heel champion. And what I believe is Brock Lesnar is coming back as a babyface at SummerSlam. That's my thing. People forget that Brock was a babyface twice in his career. When he was in OVW, and then when he came after he got rid of Heyman took the Big Show. Remember, you can't Big Show. Then Brock was a babyface, and then he decided to throw Zach Allen down the steps. But, he never turned back, which I didn't think was a heel move, by the way. I thought it was.
I like that.
Yeah, Zach needed to be thrown down the steps, but Brock could be a baby face, just a cool baby. He's not going to be like hugging, kissing babies and everything. Because people say Brock can't talk. You know what? He'll be fine.
He'll need to talk.
He doesn't need to talk. And remember, to reverse roles it always works. It always works. Austin and The Rock had switched heel babyface, both of them on several occasions. It always works. If you're a big major star and someone else is a major star across, they could flip it. Brett and Steve and Austin, remember, look at their careers, where they went. That started the whole thing of flipping guys, Brett and Austin. You know what I mean? So they could do that again. Everyone's like, Brock can't be a babyface. Why not?
Yes, he can.
Sure, he can. Everybody can be a babyface.
A badass.
Everybody can be a heel. You know?
Yeah, he could be a badass ass kicking babyface, man. Like just come down to the ring, give everybody F5s, and people would cheer.
Exactly.
Like, come on, let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, you saw his personality with the radio and dancing and acting silly. He
can do it.
Personality. He can do it. But I just think it's so funny. So that's never going to happen. I'm like, but he's been a babyface before. Oh, it wasn't that successful. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It'll be more successful now because people aren't expecting it. And this way, people will cheer him. Oh, they might still cheer. Well, they got to expect. We don't know what's going to happen. Brock babyface versus heel Reigns with Heyman. The crowd will probably be split 50-50. And you know what? We'll just have to accept. Everyone's gonna have to accept that. That's the way it's gonna go anyway. You know, even if they reversed it. But do not expect Roman Reigns to be a babyface anytime soon. And I would say the same thing with Cross. I think they want to milk this evil side of these guys. I think they'll only really, really turn them if like there was some sort of real like desperate need to have like a new poster boy. I'm just after the thing with I don't want to go off to another show, but. From Raw, but everything kind of plays into each other. But after what I just saw with them changing the game with now Goldberg going after Drew, nothing is set in stone anymore. I think, again, everyone was talking about Roman Goldberg. Now that's off. That's not even happening. And now it's Drew versus Goldberg at the Royal Rumble. And I can tell you right now, not one podcaster I know saw that coming. Not one guy.
I didn't see it coming.
Nobody saw it. Not even the big smart podcast or the guys who know everything didn't know shit. Everybody was taken off their game by that when Goldberg attacked Drew. Everyone's like, what the hell is happening? But it's cool like that because it's better that sometimes we don't know everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it more exciting.
Yeah, it does. But,
yeah, you're right.
Goldberg is just, again with this guy. Seriously, Goldberg. Come on.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan either, but I mean, it is what it is,
Guys, I'm so sorry. My microphone fucking died on me. I'm so upset. What are you guys talking about?
Oh, you're talking about Goldberg and Reigns?
Oh, okay.
And Drew?
Sorry.
Well, definitely. Wait, are you talking about me or McIntyre?
No, McIntyre.
Oh, good. I don't want to fight Goldberg. I'm not putting Oldberg over. But we'll definitely elaborate more on that after New Year's Evil. But next match was not really a debut. I guess the debut of a new character is Xia Li with Boa versus the name on here is Katrina Cortez, and it's a squash match, so like it should have been. And Xia Li just
yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Do that again, yeah, because Xia Li. Good God Almighty! But like the fierceness in her face, the screams, like, yo, that shit ain't hurt. What the fuck? Like, like the way she like just brushed it off looked like she was just, nah, I'm on a whole different level now. And I like the build up that they had to it. It felt it was very needed. It was important. So, man, oh man, let's just hope and see what goes on from here on out. Let's just fucking hope and pray that they just continue to intrigue us. That's all I ask.
Yeah. And yeah, it was definitely good to see that she has a set storyline now instead of just being on NXT sporadically without anything to do. So that's a good thing. I also think that her opponent tonight, I forgot the girl's name, but damn, she had some cake on her. Katrina Cortez. Mommy got cakes.
Oh my God.
But Xia Li told her to come get this boot. And she ate that boot. 1, 2, 3. Now, I don't know if any of you guys, and Monty, I sent to you the text message the other day, but apparently WWE's trademarked a couple of Chinese names.
Right.
And there were 2 dudes, and I think a stable name for this. So what do you guys think about the prospect of them having like more guys besides Boa and Xia Li in this faction potentially?
I think it should be. I like Xia Li. I mean, I like Boa's. I don't know a lot about him. He's kind of new to me, so I'm kind of getting to know him a little bit. But I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. Obviously, they're trying to have like this Asian faction, which why not? They've done every other ethnicity. So I mean, why not? I mean, but who they can have, I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
who
because it's not really not a lot of Chinese wrestlers out there. WWE signed and trained Xia Li, Boa, and a couple of other Chinese people. And I know they signed the girl Karen Q last year, who's Chinese as well.
Yes,
She's got injured, and I think that she's the quote unquote empress or the boss. I think that's her in that chair. I'm not too sure.
That's what they've been saying.
Yeah. I'm not too sure because of the pale skin and everything because she has a tan like Xia Li. It's pretty dark, so I'm not too sure about that. But I mean, either way, like I'm having fun with it. It's an intriguing story, which is NXT kind of lost that. As somebody that's been watching NXT since 2012, going to the tapings and everything like that, and just being a massive fan of it. I haven't seen them do a story like this in a long time with a lot of build up, with interest. Yeah, Xia Li might not be like this top notch 5-star match wrestler or anything like that, but the idea and the story, it's been very intriguing and it's very, a very, very eye catcher. And that's what is needed in wrestling too. It's not just about the flips and the flops and the 5-star matches. You need stories sometimes too. And they brought that. And I appreciate that.
Sometimes not all what the fuck moments are bad. Sometimes they're good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I like Xia Li. She's someone that I liked, but I was just like, she needs something. She needs like more of a personality change because she was just doing like not stereotypical, but she was just out there doing the whole Japan or Chinese fan waving thing or whatever. But I was just like, she needs more than that. She needs more of a kind of like a badass persona, and this helped. And granted, I wasn't too crazy about the vignettes of her getting caned in the back or doing A, B, C, and D. I wasn't crazy about those vignettes, but seeing her tonight, I was like, okay, I like it. What was his name? Boa. Yeah, Boa. I'm not too sure about him, so I can't really judge him. So I need to see. I need to see more of him. I forgot who said this, RJ or Monty, about adding more guys in the group. Yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. I mean, from what I've seen from this gimmick so far, I like it, and I want to see it expand. And like Kevin said, we've done every other ethnicity. We haven't really had too many, good, Chinese wrestlers out there, or any gimmicks for Chinese wrestlers. So, I mean, yeah, we've had gimmicks, but like gimmicks that actually look cool, badass gimmicks. And
you want me to read off some of the names that they have?
Go ahead.
So according to them, and they just filed this on December the 30th. Diamond Mine, Zhao Liang, The Bridge, Nu Wu, The Witch, Qiyi, Quan Tao, and Ji Lu. So I don't know if that's going to be anything pertaining to the gimmick, but it almost sounds about right. And I think maybe Karen Q or whoever that is might be the witch. So I don't know. I guess we have to wait and see.
Who is Karen Q, by the way? Karen
Q is she was the Chinese chick that was in Ring of Honor for a good bit. WWE signed it last year, and she was teaming up with Xia Li on house shows. Because I remember one of my friends that still lives in Florida that goes to the shows all the time, or used to go to the shows all the time before the pandemic, said that they were teaming up a whole lot, and she was kind of learning from her. Xia Li was learning from Karen Q, and then Karen Q tore ACL or MCL or something like that, and she's been out ever since. Before she even got a chance to be on TV. So I'm guessing if she is the boss behind all this, this could be her big grand introduction to television.
Oh, that'd be cool. And also another thing for Xia Li is that, with Rhea more than likely heading up to the main roster, that presents new challengers. With Xia Li going up against, Io Shirai in the future, or Mercedes Martinez, or Raquel. Those are interesting matchups, and then possibly, and we don't know this yet, someone like Tessa Blanchard, who more than likely is going to come to NXT or WWE or whatever you want to call it. So I'm happy. I'm happy how the future looks.
Yeah, it looks good. I was impressed.
We need more stars. We need more, not just good wrestlers. We need stars. We need more stars. So
We need people. We need people with intriguing, interesting characters, and and gimmicks that help get them over when they go to the main roster, instead of just being guy A, guy B. So far and so forth. We need different mixes of people.
Yeah, and Xia Li, actually looks like a badass. Because
She does.
She's got them thick ass legs that.
Oh, you damn right.
If you got hit by it, it's gonna hurt. So I mean, it's not like Riho, where she actually looks like a Japanese schoolgirl. Like she looks like a legit badass. So, but next match, we have the last woman standing match with Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez. My favorite match of the night. The match I was actually looking forward to the most. I kind of point out the obvious. These two have good chemistry. They're good friends outside, of the business. And again, they work well together. I liked their match at Halloween Havoc a while back. I like this match a little bit more because, like Jim Cornette would say, this isn't a girls' match. This is a women's match.
Damn right.
These two girls, look like they can beat up any guy we know.
Absolutely.
And they just want to
Young Bucks.
each other. Rhea Ripley they would throw around the Young Bucks. Oh my god.
Damn right.
Both of them.
But I thoroughly enjoy this match from beginning to end. I like the end because it was a nice way to not make Rhea look too bad on her way out. I mean, granted, it was a last woman standing match, so there's really no way you can make someone look that bad. But I like the ending.
Yeah, I did too.
It was a good spot, and again, Rhea, she's either going to have one more match before the Rumble, or their last match is probably going to be at the next Takeover, which is Valentine's Day, or this could probably be her last match in NXT. But anyway, what's everyone else's thoughts on it?
I'm gonna quote Will Smith. No, no, we gotta keep her for Royal Rumble. She's done. I don't want to see her wrestle another match in an NXT ring ever again. She's done. I'm tired of her being NXT. I feel like she's been in NXT for a long, long time. She overdid her stay, much like Undisputed Era, much like a lot of people. But I understand what Triple H is doing, and I appreciate what he's doing. So the minute Rhea Ripley hits the main roster, she will instantly become my favorite women's wrestler on the roster. I'm sorry, Shayna Baszler. I love you. You're a badass, but you're not a badass and looks beautiful. So I'm sorry. But this match was great. It was really great. Freaking locking Dakota Kai in the locker was fucking hilarious. Oh my gosh, he whooped, like, my dad just was just out of nowhere just watching. He's like, yo, when Rhea Ripley was like whipping her ass, he's like, yo, he's beating her ass. I'm like, I know, that's a big woman, like. But it was a great match. I don't know. I just love when people just beat the shit out of each other, and it was great. It was really great. But what are your thoughts?
I thought this match was fantastic. And look, I've been kind of critical about Raquel Gonzalez. Not too critical, but I've been kind of critical about her. But they worked hard. These women worked hard. They laid it in thick. They had a fucking war. And that's all you can really ask for when you got two women that look like those two women do. They look like you said, they look like women. They don't look like Riho. And the rest of the Japanese schoolgirls and, all these other, small women, they look like grown-ass women going back and forth. It was a war. I mean, that spot was crazy when they went through the fucking glass door. I'm like, yo, what the hell? And then, like you said, Coda getting her ass kicked and getting shoved into the locker. That was a nice touch.
Bro, that shit was funny.
Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of getting tight a little bit. I'm like, please don't let this match end with off of Dakota Kai interfering. Mm-hmm. But it didn't, and they continued it on the stage, and that spot was tough. With Raquel sending Rhea through the stage, like, that was tough, and then her coming out, like, it was good. It was a perfect way to cap off, or to end off, I should say, Rhea Ripley's NXT run. And I agree with Monty. Let her rock. I don't need to see, unless she comes out, cut a promo, and be like, I'm out this joint. I don't need to see Rhea Ripley no more in the NXT ring. It's done. They got
And
to
look,
stop this. And I know Triple H is trying to protect them and
Mhm.
stuff like that, but like you gotta let them fly. You gotta let them fly because after a
RJ,
while, you just gotta be like, why are you still here? Why are you still here?
what I tell you, Drew,
Mm.
Kevin, I keep telling RJ, Raquel Gonzalez is the wrestler they wanted Nia Jax to be, and she's just not. She's just not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I think she. Listen, all these girls got great upside from NXT. Even Dakota Kai, who I didn't think much of
I agree.
for the longest time.
Right.
And again, turning her heel did wonders for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest fan of Rhea Ripley. I'm just not the biggest fan. But I mean, she's okay. But they got Shotzi Black. They got so many people here. Now Xia Li, the rise of her, and of course, their champion Io Shirai. They really have a nice. A really nice base of women wrestlers. Probably the strongest division in any
Mhm.
wrestling group in anywhere in the
Right.
country. Because people say, "Oh, Impact." No, Impact doesn't have anything compared to the NXT Women's Division. But there are women. It's time to go. I think Rhea Ripley has spent enough time, even though she's 24 years old. She's young. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny to be like, "Oh, sure." We were just talking about Austin. I was almost calling Punishment Martinez. Damian Priest. He's 37, and people are, is he? Should they bring him up? Is it too soon? I'm like, he's 37. Like he's been in wrestling for 15 years. So
Yes, you
when,
bring
when
him
you
up.
look when you look at Rhea Ripley, who I think is in wrestling, what, 5 years, 6 years?
Yep.
So again, they probably could keep it down, but I think there's just a time where, again, there's only so much you can do. They got to bring her up. I think Dakota Kai could probably be ready, but out of all those girls, I would pluck Ripley out of there and bring her up and put her on, I guess, SmackDown or Raw, wherever she's going to go to. They'll give an opportunity to and there's other girls that aren't even on the TV, like Vanessa Bourne. Are they still here? Santana Garrett's still here? I don't even know. I mean,
Yeah, I know, right? That's odd.
yeah, Santana Garrett. I mean, posts a lot of nice pictures on Instagram, but never talks
Yes, she
about it. She's
does.
actually in WWE. And Vanessa Bourne, is she still in the company? I mean, it's like, because there's other girls that are in NXT that aren't even seen that are there. So
Yeah, exactly.
again, see if they get Aaliyah and all these other. There's so many girls. It's like maybe 15 girls. It seems like. So they won't lose anything by Rhea going up. And I think Raquel Gonzalez is the Latin China, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's what. And listen, China wasn't that great. I think everybody kind of wants to remember China as Lou Thez, and she wasn't. I mean, go back and watch China. Even when she did the somersault and the person was waiting at the turnbuckle, China took about 10 minutes before she even got there. Like
Yep.
half the time, Jeff Jarrett would be lying there, and it's like, all right, China, stop pandering to the crowd and do your little, somersault or whatever, or cartwheel. And I'm just like, everyone's like, oh, China was so good. I'm like, she really wasn't that good. She did body slams and punched people. That's all she did. So I think Raquel Gonzalez can probably be better if she gets seasoned. Keep Raquel Gonzalez down there, even though I'm sure they're salivating to move her up.
Yeah.
The match itself was great. I think the women are the best thing about NXT next to Cross and Adam Cole. I think that's the best thing about NXT is the
I
women.
definitely agree.
So then they did a great job tonight. They did a fine job tonight.
I agree. I mean, it's only the beginning of the year, and we already have a match of the year candidate. So
Yeah,
Right.
these two, just knocked it out of the park. But yeah, Rhea, I think she's pretty much heading to the main roster. More
Thank
than likely, debuting in the Rumble. So
That's what I'm hoping for.
next was a segment and it became a match. So
Oh.
the way.
Wait, you really want to talk about this? Oh wow, okay.
Now and Candice LeRae came to the ring and just did their usual shtick. Johnny Gargano got a plaque for lifting the curse, and I forgot what else happened. And then Shotzi Blackheart came to the ring in her tank, and I saw that she had like some type of, I guess, Nerf missile. And then Austin Theory went up there and said, I'm not gonna let you interrupt this. And then she shoots the Nerf missile at his That is dick
That's
and balls.
balls.
Which popped me. If I have a guilty one of my many guilty pleasures is seeing people get kicked or hit in the balls. So I popped for it. I had to pop for it, but
it was funny.
Hey, you know a funny thing about that?
What?
As a child watching WWF growing up, that used to be funny shit whenever Bubba Ray Dudley, and I know we all have our issues with Mr. Bubba Ray Dudley there, Bully Ray, whatever the hell he wants to call himself. But nobody sells a low blow better than Bubba Ray Dudley. I'm sorry. That shit's funny as fuck, bro. I just had to bring that up real quick, but no, go ahead.
But yeah, so she comes out to the ring, fights Candice, and then Johnny, I guess, makes it out to be like he's going to go in there and fight her, and then Shida or Koshida comes out and attacks him. So it looks like there was like a standoff between the two, and then Dexter Lumis just appears out of nowhere at the announcement.
Ding,
ding, and makes a match. He points to the screen and already shows a drawing of the match. Wade Barrett, how did he draw that so fast? Yeah, that set up a tag match between Gargano and Candice versus Kushida and Shotzi, which it was what it was. You didn't really expect anything great out of it, but Shotzi and Kushida won. So I'm guessing this starts a new program with Kushida and Gargano, which I wouldn't mind that. Gargano, I've said, is kind of on my no watch list, but I like Kushida. I mean, I like him now that he's not doing that Back to the Future gimmick. I mean, that he's just being a wrestler. He's just being a badass. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Your guys' thoughts? Anyone?
Well, whenever Johnny Gargano goes to talk nowadays, I just get this urge to just change the channel. Like, Kevin, remember years back, you used to have the Big Show heat where you just go and take your dog out or go feed the cats and pretend like you're taking up smoking just to get away from the TV so you don't have to see the Big Show. Well, I feel that same exact way when it comes to Johnny Gargano. I cannot stand Johnny Gargano anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this heel character. So anytime he goes to open his mouth or just even the sight of him, I just got the urge to pick up the remote, turn to AEW, then I see a bunch of people over there that I don't want to see, so I wound up flipping the channel back. I'm just like, God damn it, what do I do here? And this is bad. I'm just go ahead and pass.
Hey, at least the Knicks won for you tonight. That's actually pretty good. They're playing phenomenal basketball. Surprisingly, there you go. What a 2021 for them, right?
All right, fantastic. 5-3, baby. 5-3.
But no, I mean. Shit. I forgot what I was going to say. So, Kevin, take it away, man.
I forgot what you were going to say. What were we talking about?
Gargano and
Gargano. Oh, I mean, Gargano, he blocked me anyways. So I called him Ben Stiller's less talented cousin. And I said, he reminds me of Ben Stiller. I don't know why. He just looks like Ben Stiller to me.
I see it now. I see it now, too.
He got very mad about that.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody.
And before he blocked me, I got to send him to Robert De Niro doing the ICU kind of thing. From
shit.
I'm watching. Yeah, so I was kind of surprised. It wasn't. What's the insult? Like, Ben Stiller's a famous guy. It's not like an insult, but
right.
But yeah, I got blocked, so I can't see someone who's you see what Johnny Gargano. I'm like, I hate getting blocked by wrestlers because it's a podcast. I like to see the things they write, unless someone's able to screenshot it and show me. So I don't advise getting blocked by wrestlers you kind of need to keep tabs on. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Gargano's. I mean, I like him better as a heel than a babyface. I like his wife. And I think the little crew they got there is okay. Listen, it's something for what's the name to do?
Indie.
Yeah, indie wrestling. And what's the other dude's name?
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory. I thought Shotzi Blackheart shot him tonight, right? She shot him.
Yeah. In the dinger.
Yeah, I said Shotzi Blackheart shot somebody tonight at NXT, but he's a jobber, so it doesn't matter. And her, I have mixed feelings about because she's always almost hurting herself, and
Oh my god, bro!
I know, right?
she's always hurting herself.
Kevin.
She's always like falling out of the ring or missing something or clotheslining herself on the top rope. She's like she's a little like the left footed. I think she's
Reckless.
she's a little overly excited that she's getting a big push, and I think she makes mistakes. So I think she'll be down in NXT for a while. But Gargano's little group. I mean, listen, I thought that was kind of cute and clever to call her indie wrestling. I like it. But can Gargano lead a faction and keep interest? I thought the Christmas thing they did 2 weeks ago was really entertaining. But other than that, Gargano is a wrestler. I'm kind of not feeling him anymore. But I don't mind the comedy aspects of the group. I don't mind that. Again, he has some value. I wouldn't like just throwing. I mean, listen, I think Gargano's got a lot more personality than Ciampa has. I mean, Ciampa's just kind of this brooding, elfish type of, Ciampa, like what's the name of the elf guy who left WWE and AEW? What's his name? The guy who everyone touts so great. Pac, yeah, who never does anything in the business, but he's such a big star, but never a big star. They'll be saying about that guy for the rest of his life, and he'll never win a world title.
Wow, I'm sorry, but you just really hurt my heart, bro.
I'm sorry, no, it's just that he's just. I mean, listen, elves are people too, but that's. I'm not. I'm not anti-elf. I think I'm sure there's.
Elves are people too.
I'm sure there's some girls who rock those ears of his really hard in the bedroom. I find Ciampa and Gargano just to be NXT lifers, where they're like the old man Rivers, like they're almost the Tito Santanas and stuff of that division, like where they'll be there a long time. When you turn around, it's already 10 years they're there. Then it'll be 12 years, and they'll live and die with that promotion. Ciampa says he doesn't want to be brought up. I think Gargano doesn't want to be brought up either. So what they'll do is just give them stuff to do to put people over.
Yeah, which is part of my problem with them is that I've seen you in the same spot for so long at this point. Being a hardcore NXT fan that I am, I've seen you in the same spot doing almost the same thing. Now I know he's a heel now, but I've seen you in the same spot. No change of scenery, and it's just like, dude, I'm tired of seeing you on NXT. Like, go get the hell out of here. Go somewhere. But I will agree with you. He has value. He's a guy. He's very reliable. If you need somebody to have a good match with, he's the guy to have it with. And there's value in the guy. He's very talented, but it's just my interest in him is at an all-time low.
Yeah, actually, as I'm on the show, you guys, Cross just wrote me and said, "What the hell is a Drew Yari show?"
Did he really say that?
No, he actually told me that he got something in the mail that I sent him. So I'm just saying, he didn't say that.
Imagine,
Cross knows who I am.
I've been writing him for a week. Asked him a band that he likes, who I manage here in New York. Sent him a package, and they were trying to find out if he got it. And he was only at the perform. Obviously, he's there tonight, and he picked up his mail. He just said he got it, so good. Because the mail gets sent to the NXT building for the wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What the hell?
You actually gave my hopes up there for a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I wrote back. I said we're all trying to figure that out as we're on the show. No, I didn't say that.
I'm still trying to figure that out to this day.
That's true.
But let's go to the main event. Part 2 of Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor for the NXT Heavyweight Championship. Let me go last because I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So anyone.
I'll go first because this is my book.
Sure.
I liked it. It definitely wasn't better than the first. A part of me felt like it wasn't going to be better than the first going into it, and a part of me felt like I kind of didn't want to watch this match because I kind of knew Kyle was going to lose. But then again, they did great. Was Finn really cut open in on his head, or was that fake? Did that look like, I don't know? What do you guys think?
It looked kind of hard way to me.
You said what?
Kind of looked hard way to me.
Judging by their last match, I mean that kind of had to been legit.
Yeah, no, the broken jaw was crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with Monty. The match wasn't as good as the first one. I don't know. To me, I don't know if it's just me. Like, was there's something kind of off about the match?
I think the pacing was kind of off. I thought it was as intense and as brutal as it was last time. I mean, Finn Balor, like, he was like legit trying to knock off Kyle O'Reilly's jaw in certain instances, especially when he was stomping on him. I was like, "Damn, Finn, calm the fuck down, dude." He was just elbowing him right in the jaw. I'm like, "Damn, dude, like, what the fuck?" He's really going at him. So in certain instances, it looked brutal, just as brutal as the last encounter. But I would agree, something about the pacing just felt a little off in this one. Still a good match, still a good watch, but it didn't top the first encounter.
I will say this. I definitely think that the move that they used to sell the jaw injury was odd. I don't think a simple kick with the rope in his mouth is going to hurt his jaw that bad. Like, that's the only thing that got me upset. And, like, yeah, Kyle's great storytelling. So, like, him, like, getting, like, looking pissed off and, like, holding his jaw, like, damn, like, I'm going to just go through with the match. Like, I'm just going to continue it. Like, he's the type of guy, he's not going to just quit. So I thought, like, that was cool, but I just thought that move itself to, like, start that, it just, I don't know, man. They could have thought of something better. That's the only thing.
Go ahead, Kev.
I thought the match was okay. I wasn't, again, I'm not the biggest Finn Balor fan either. I just don't like these vanilla bitches, man. What can I tell you?
Damn, bro. You just Kevin, you just don't like me, man. It's cool, man.
These white guys are just so annoying.
He said, these white guys.
Irritating. You know.
Yeah, so
straight up shooting tonight.
Boom, boom.
Just I don't know. Yeah, Balor has never really struck a chord with me. I mean, I think he's great talent, nice guy. But I think he's kind of, again, I don't know what his future is. Like, he's in NXT, and after he loses, does he come back to the main roster? And I appreciate that he probably went down there voluntarily to kind of lead the charge, even though he's a main roster guy, and it looked like he was demoted in a way, but not really, because it's the third brand that they try to play down that it's the minor leagues, but it really is. That's why I always think it's weird when AEW's bragging about beating, they got Sting and all these major stars, and we have Cameron Grimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh yeah, Sting beat Cameron Grimes segment tonight. I mean, come on, guys. But again, I'm more the Dexter Loomis. I'm more the larger than life characters. That's stuff the guys I kind of like. Cross, even this big Bronson Reed guy who reminds me of kind of a modern day Bam Bam Bigelow.
Right.
I like guys who look like wrestlers and like or big competitors and athletes and like really fucking get in there and fucking put on a wrestling show. The flippy guys are just not for me. I mean, anybody who listens to me for a minute kind of knows that. It's not that I mean, listen, if I'm going to name a flippy guy I like, I'm trying to even think if I can even name one. So it's Finn Balor is just one of many that I'm like, again, he serves a purpose, but I think, the Kevin O'Reilly, I don't know, man. I don't see Adam. That's my biggest worry about Adam Cole. There's a good example. Adam Cole's not a flippy guy, but he's a smaller guy. He's like a smaller Shawn Michaels, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah, it is.
Michaels ain't the biggest guy, but I would say Adam Cole is the only guy in that kind of group of type of wrestlers that I like. Because Adam Cole, I think, he's got a catchphrase and he's got the boom and he's got the Adam Cole baby. He's got that stuff that you need to move merch and have people cheer for you and stuff. The other guys are just kind of there along for the ride, and that's why I always kind of found Balor kind of boring. I mean, just getting up on the ring and going dint, dint, and throwing his hands up in the air. It's like I don't get it. I just don't get it. When he's the demon, He looks like he's in an asexual Broadway play. I don't even know what that is. The Demon. I mean, I went to see Cats too, and I wasn't terrified when they came out on stage. I mean,
shit!
when he becomes the Demon,
God.
I think I'm watching like a Liberace Broadway show. I mean, what am I watching here? Oh, the Demon versus Killer Cross. I'm like, so he comes out as a Broadway guy. Like, I don't get it. I might as well do the Can. That's how scary he is. So again, Finn, you're not going to get a lot of props for Finn Balor out of me, other than he's a good wrestler, nice guy, or he's like one of the nicest guys in the business. That goes a long way with me. But again, as an attraction or as a fan, or give him the world title, nah. It's like I can't wait to see Cross beat him, and I hope Cross beats him. I hope Cross beats him and sends him back to the injured list for another year.
Oh, jeez.
Goodness.
So you're getting now you're getting the Kevin Castle. I just get warmed up and I get meaner as I go on.
Oh, God.
Heel Kevin Castle.
Drew knows that.
Oh, I do. I've been in the middle of this. So. But yeah. I forgot what I was going to say because now I'm just like thinking about Cross beating the shit out of Finn.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm kind of envisioning it now. It's really not pretty, bro.
Yeah, because like when you think of it, you think of Cross coming out to his cool, black and white, almost kind of like old school horror, entrance, and you just see Finn come out, just dancing to the ring,
dancing.
But by the way, the grizzled young vets were on tonight.
Nah, they just showed the crowd.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't remember seeing them, and people were posting about it. I'm like, where were they? I didn't see that. They were in the crowd.
Are you a fan of the grizzled young veterans, by the way?
I like the grizzled part, but other than that, I mean, I can relate to that. But they're okay. I mean, they're all right. I mean, the guys who come out of Europe, I'm like, yeah. The guys from NXT, UK, like I was getting into Ridge Holland because Cross was telling me, oh, if you could support this guy, he's my boy. Like he had hit me up and he's like, oh, try if you can, give this guy some props. And I wrote to Ridge Holland and I introduced myself and he wrote me back. He's like, oh, great, because he was new. He had been here before, but he had moved here to the States because he was going to be on NXT. But now he's injured for like a year. This is before he got hurt. So, I mean, I was kind of getting into Ridge Holland because I kind of thought he looked like he reminded me of like a little Brock Lesnar.
Yep, exactly.
And and Cross even said, oh, this is a good dude. See if you can like, put him over on the shows and everything. He's my boy. And I was like, I don't know a lot about him, but I saw a bunch of vignettes. I'm like, he looks like a cool character, like kind of like a UK thug. I like that.
Yeah.
So and he was telling me, oh, this guy's legit badass, and so I was intrigued. I was totally intrigued, and he reminded me of a little bit of a Steiner brother and Brock Lesnar. So that's why I was into. Yeah, now he's injured, like he's out for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Cross knows when he's coming back. I think he's coming back like maybe like SummerSlam, maybe like summertime. I feel bad for the dude because he like just moved here and like uprooted his whole life from the UK, and what a shame. So they had hopes for him. Grizzled young vets are cool. I mean, I got to see a little bit more of them. I'm not a big Oney Lorcan and what's his name,
Danny Burch.
Ted Nugent, what's his name? Danny Burch.
You're like way off.
Danny Burch.
I should write that on Twitter. I'll see how many of those spots.
You definitely should.
Only looking at Ted
You
Nugent.
definitely should.
It's like, and you run a podcast? I didn't say I have a good podcast. I'm not a big fan of those guys, so I'm down to see anybody kind of beat those guys at this point. I mean, I can appreciate those guys are like good soldiers. They're NXT's trying to reward them. Lorcan and Burch have been around a long time, and like I can picture in the back William Regal like, oh, let's do something for these guys. They've been here. They're loyal soldiers. Okay, I'm all for that. I'm good for good employees getting rewarded.
Yeah. I'm not digging their run right now either.
Yeah. I don't. Again, and you take McAfee away from them. Forget it. They can't. They're boring. They're just bland.
They are.
You know what they are? They're basically the fucking vaudevillains with more hair. You know what I mean? I mean that's really what they are.
Yo, you're not wrong. They're born. They have nothing. There's Mr.
There's
Generics.
They're just two Mr. Clean bald guys.
Exactly. Take McAfee away from that War Games, and McAfee's not in that.
Yeah.
That would have been a fucking disaster. No, who would have watched that?
Yeah, nobody.
No one.
Nobody.
Sorry.
Nobody.
God.
It's like
Sorry.
it's as if you start a creative player in WWE 2K and it's like create a
exactly
template,
what it is.
use a sample, and boom, there's Oni Lorcan.
Yeah, and I feel that way about Pete Dunn. I mean, listen, I don't know where a guy looking like Melissa Etheridge is like a good look. I like come to my window as much as anybody else, but I'm not a big. Every time I see Pete Dunn, I think of Melissa Etheridge doing a concert for animals. So it's like I don't get it. I don't get Pete Dunn. Pete Dunn's appeal, and I mean, just again, he got dieseled out. He got dieseled out. He's all built now. I'm like, he can look like Ultimate Warrior. I find Pete Dunn to be horrendous. I can't take these guys.
Pete Dunn. Pete Dunn needs to cut his hair. I think he needs to cut his hair.
Yeah,
he looks like a lesbian.
Nah.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Yeah,
Brian Last had the best way to describe him. He looks like Becky Lynch with facial hair.
Yo, when
does.
you see when he does those straight faces, he really look like an emotional like teenage girl that's upset.
Exactly.
He does.
That's going through a transitioning period.
What?
Go look up young Melissa Etheridge. He's a spitting image. I guarantee there's some relation there. I swear to God, he should have on the back of his jacket Lilith Fair. I mean, seriously.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I laugh at guys like Pete Dunn is badass. I'm like, in what circle is he badass in? Where would that be considered? Where would that be? What land would that be in? It's like I shake my head at this stuff. Pete Dunn is legit. Legit what? Legitly unattractive? Legit what? Oh my God!
Kevin going crazy.
I haven't had bad skin like that since I went to the junior prom and fucking Terrence Trent D'Arby was tearing up the charts in '87.
Oh my God!
Seriously, I mean, get him some different gel or something. He's on. Does he know he's on camera? Oh my God! Some Clearasil cover. Oh, dude. So does anybody use Clearasil anymore? What's going on?
Nope.
Yo, I'm crying.
I know, right? I'm weak.
Drew's like, this is what I paid for. This is the Kevin Castle.
This is the Kevin Castle I've been looking for, not that mild-mannered Kevin Castle.
The mild mannered thing.
Kevin Castle that hates children and hates people.
Kev, you're killing me, man.
Hey Kevin, can I ask you something real quick? How did you feel when the Big Show appeared on Raw the other night?
Oh God!
Hey, this is a 3-hour show. Okay, we can't be.
That's true.
We gotta move on.
Randy Orton grabbed him by the neck. I mean, what was? Did you see that? Like a Goozle show? And Big Show didn't do anything. I mean, what's on? Randy Orton, it's hard enough to sit through Randy Orton. My God, human Benadryl.
Speaking of Raw, that's a nice segue. So the ending of Raw was Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre, with Drew McIntyre winning and retaining the WWE title. And then the ending was, all the legends were sitting on stage and watching. And then Goldberg comes out. And, it's official. It's Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre at the Rumble. Drew McIntyre told Goldberg, fighting you would be like fighting my dad. And
yo, that is the best burn I ever heard on TV. Yo, that was straight disrespectful. Straight.
Right. And then Goldberg laughed, and Drew McIntyre laughed, and Goldberg shoved him, and I think the feed cut out, quick. So
yeah, that was weird.
Did you guys see the other 10 seconds of that when Drew got up and Drew headbutted him?
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird. They should have kept that going. I didn't like that. It looked bad that, I mean, you guys know too, like, a push where Drew maybe went into the ropes or whatever, but he fell on his ass. So it was like a little kid bully push down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when he sat down, if he went to one knee or Drew lost his balance and went into the ropes and turned around, but he pushed him down like a schoolyard bully. And Goldberg, by the way, looked a lot smaller than Drew McIntyre.
right.
Drew had about 5-6 inches in height over. I don't know how tall Goldberg is. I think Gold was like 6'1", 6'2". Drew's 6'6", I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that Drew got back up and got in his face. Like they couldn't have let it lay like that because Drew would have looked like a bitch.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you need.
I just think but you gotta remember too, the way it looked at, like how Goldberg, it really like he really put a lot of force. He really, really, really lunged to push that man. Because I don't know, because Kevin, I don't know, man. I heard what you were saying before earlier, talking about how like they might do the unification. I just don't see how it, to like even a casual viewer, it just doesn't make sense how an old, like, not even just he's old, it's just like you just said, he's like 3 or 4 inches taller than him. He's literally swole. Like Drew McIntyre is a tank. So I just don't see how it just makes sense for just Goldberg to beat him. Why?
Yeah, and also I think I think your main event could easily be Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Unifying both world titles. That could easily be your main event of Mania, and they kind of subtly pushed it at Survivor Series, and also building up, and that's a nice way to push it. Of like, Drew McIntyre can be like, Roman thinks I'm, number 2. That's the best way you can put it. I'm going to beat the shit out of him, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately Roman, and Roman should win. He should be, the champion. As much as like Drew McIntyre, I think Roman is doing a better job. And granted, because he's being pushed better. As much as I love Drew's not really being pushed the way Roman is. And yeah, Roman should really be the only champion.
When you say that, do you mean that like as a babyface, he's been built the strongest, like in terms of Drew? Because honestly, I haven't been a fan of a babyface champion, the E, in a long time. I don't even know why that is, but
well, here's the thing.
Maybe when Daniel Bryan won at 30, because that was like such a fucking finally type moment. Right. But I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, because they're trying to push him like John Cena. And
true.
That's just one thing I don't get why the company does is like, let's take this young promising star that looks Jack Diesel, that looks like he can, be in a superhero movie, and let's have him do John Cena shtick. It's like, no, just let him go out there and talk like a badass. Push him like a badass. They call him the Scottish sociopath, or used to, the Scottish sociopath. Have him be the Scottish sociopath. Have him be an ass kicker. Have him go out there and say, I'm going to come out here and kick the shit out of anyone that gets in my way. Like, have him be that guy. They did that to Roman, try to have him be, perfect analogy that I told RJ and Kevin when they were on the show one time. It's like they were trying to make, Wolverine into Captain America.
Yeah.
And that's not going to work. And you need to let Wolverine be Wolverine and let Captain America be Captain America. Let John Cena be John Cena. And,
that was nice. That was a nice analogy. I like that.
Right. And as far as like Goldberg winning, I just no.
Yeah, I don't think nobody wants that.
There's a place on the show for Goldberg, but just not in a main event, not in a top spot that someone like Drew McIntyre should be in, someone like Roman Reigns should be in. And if Roman Reigns versus Goldberg is going to be your main event of Mania, it's just a lot of people are going to tune out.
And if that ultimately ends up being the match, Roman Reigns has to literally, I'm sorry for saying this because I know some people probably get really upset, but he needs to wash the floor with Goldberg, like obliterate him. I don't want to see Goldberg do like 3 spears. No, you probably get 1, maybe, because I'm tired of him ruining people's momentums. It's annoying. Like I feel like there's no need for it. The Fiend, man. The Fiend was on an incredible ride. Like, no one could touch him, I think, personally. But bring Goldberg, Super Showdown, boom, lose. And you almost kill the man at that, too. How do you beat him and almost kill him at the same time? I'm just like, God damn, bro. Like, just give it up. We know you're here for the check. That's cool. Just go home.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I mean, if that's the direction that they're going in, with Roman Reigns being on both Raw and SmackDown, being a unified champion, I wouldn't mind that at all. I mean, hell, Roman Reigns is the talk of the town. Why not have, him on both shows? My only worry is that, and this, WWE likes to overexpose people a little too much to the point where you go, okay, maybe he's not really all that special. And you don't want that feeling with Roman Reigns because he's the hottest thing you got right now. And I think less is more sometimes, you know? So I'm keeping that mentality in mind. But that aside, I think that'd be great. But like you said, Monty, if they do that, I don't even want Goldberg to get one spear in. I want Roman Reigns to turn around and just spear the fuck out this man.
Nah, I don't
Spear
blame
this
you.
man back into 1998.
I don't blame you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to have none of this Goldberg shit, bro. I'm not. None of it. No more. I'm good. This man almost killed the Undertaker last year.
Oh
This
my
man
god.
almost killed Bray Wyatt last year
Oh my
with the
god,
Jack
bro.
Buster. Like, come on, we gotta stop this shit, man.
The
We gotta
Jack,
stop it.
the Jack suplex, brother.
You gotta eat this today, brother.
Shit was terrible.
Yeah. I've never been a Goldberg fan. I never liked him from the time he came out the box. I always thought, talk about a guy who's manufactured. I mean, he's the epitome of a corporate wrestler manufactured.
There we go.
Again, I said on Twitter, he makes Ultimate Warrior look like, Dan Gable. I mean, Ultimate Warrior at least worked the territories, Mid-South, world class. He paid his dues. He didn't just come out of a gym and they gave him a job. I mean, so again, I always laugh like, "Oh, Goldberg's nowhere the Ultimate Warrior." I'm like, "You kidding me?" As it's night and day. As a matter of fact, me and my brother in '87 saw Warrior on dark matches at the Garden that weren't even televised because he was wrestling like before the card even started because he was working his way up. So it's like that's complete nonsense. He got the IC title a year after he debuted. He got the world title 3 years after he debuted. So Goldberg got it within 7 months.
Yes,
so it's
did.
like just total nonsense. And I'm just like, oh, but he was the money he brought into WCW. I'm like, look, wrestling was hot back then. The dude fit the suit. He was the Johnny Bravo of wrestling. He fit the suit. He was their Stone Cold without the promo.
Exactly.
He was their Steve Austin. That was the look. Shaved head. It was popular. It was the look. That's the way everybody looked in bands and in music scene. Every white guy was shaving that. He had the look. Exactly. And fuck everybody. And I bucked the authority. But he never had any charisma. So I always thought he wasn't going to go places. And I was kind of mad at him that he hurt Brett. He really kind of fucked Brett up.
Yes, he
WWE.
did.
Preach, man. Preach
Yeah,
that.
just again, he never was. And, again, he's not even sorry for it. He doesn't like the business.
No, he
never
doesn't.
even wrestling, and he's there for the check. And for him to say, "I just wanted my son to see me as a wrestling superstar," it's like, dude, anybody who's got a child could say that. It's all of a sudden he's got kids, so he's a better person because he's got a son. So I know a lot of assholes who have children.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and they know their father's an asshole. So it's like, when he came back, and Vince is having this love affair with him now, and Vince didn't like him for the longest time. You guys know when he came here in 2002, 2003,
Right.
He wasn't exactly beloved. He didn't and he got booed out of the Garden his last match.
I was there for that.
Oh, you were there? Yeah. I mean, again, people are like, yeah, but you can't deny the impact yet. But it was a very brief impact. It was maybe like a 2-year run, and then he fought, then Nash beat him, and that was it for him. And then, he put his hand through the glass during that promo, fucked himself up. And then Vince Russo just didn't really even know what to do with him at that point anymore when Vince took the book. So again, and Goldberg had, a bullshit run in WWE in 2002, 2003.
Yes.
He faced they put him in there with The Rock, Brock, all the top guys. But I don't think he ever left an impression on the WWE faithful that he's anything for them to embrace. And I think that's why at the Hall of Fame, half of them walked out. They didn't pay attention when he was on. I felt bad, generally bad from there, but I said to myself, that's an example of you reap what you sow. When people weren't like turning their backs on him to be dicks, they were just like, I don't really know the dude. And even people in the locker room, like, I never even really had a conversation with Goldberg. And you saw him and Matt Riddle. Now, Matt maybe mouthed off to him, but even the way he came at Matt Riddle on that televised thing where he's like, yeah, we're going to talk later. It's like, what are you threatening him? Dude, this guy's at least, here for the right reasons. Maybe you should have a conversation with Riddle and be a fucking mentor instead of always trying to be a tough guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Goldberg has never done that. Even when Warrior came back, he embraced people. He tried to make amends with people he had beefs with. Goldberg is just like to himself, his own dressing room. Even if you see his documentary, Kevin Nash seemed generally irritated to have to be on that fucking dock and go over again how he didn't screw Goldberg. Goldberg, Kevin Nash is shaking his head. He's like, Bill just doesn't get how this business works. He just doesn't.
No, he didn't.
And I think that McMahon doing this is twofold. Number one, He is absolutely trying to piss off the roster. Now you'd say, Kev, why would he do that? Because he wants these guys to get hungrier, be mad about that. They have to bring a 53-year-old guy back, 54-year-old guy back. He's actually 2 years older than me. To shake things up, that we're going to demote Drew and stuff. He wants them to be pissed because he wants them to see what I got to turn to. 2.6 rating when I bring these guys back. You guys 1.6. I lose almost 500,000 viewers less when you new guys are at the top of the card. See what I got to go to? But I think it's a double-edged sword. I understand Vince's frustration that a lot of guys aren't getting over, but he could look to his right hand, which is Bruce Pritchard, who's completely out of touch. And I'm sure Bruce Pritchard even thinks, well, yeah, Goldberg's a name. And I'm like, but he's not a name now. And when you can Wikipedia how old somebody is and what their stats are and stuff, I think younger fans are like, I don't know. I'd rather see, I don't get it. So, they're pushing all these guys for what? So Goldberg could just come in and take their spot. And you know how wrestling fans are, man. We're so territorial and so tribal that we take it personally when somebody gets an undeserved push. You guys know how it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Everybody gets pissed. Even if we say, it's the business, we were, and so this way we can't even fake being happy for Goldberg. That's why when Goldberg won the belt, it was best that, and even lost the belt, it was best that there was nobody there because that match just would have been shit on all over the place.
Yeah.
But I think McMahon is trying to send a message saying, hey, 2.6 is not good, but it's almost 1 million more people than when I didn't have him on last week. Tell me why is that if he's not popular? And people can go, Vince, it's not Goldberg. They tuned in to see Hogan and Flair and and all these other people that were there. And to Vince, it's like, no, it was mostly Goldberg. But not for nothing. I didn't even know Goldberg was going to be on.
Me neither.
He wasn't announced.
Nobody did.
It wasn't even announced. So I think, and again, I'm sure a lot of the young wrestlers are going to be pissed that Drew. There's no doubt in my mind that Reigns said the only way I will face Goldberg is if there's something at stake or something that's going to make it interesting. He's not going to beat me. So what am I just going to beat this old man? I'm sure someone, probably Bruce, you know what? Drew's not really drawing his champion. What if we unify the titles and then you can wrestle on Raw and SmackDown? You're like a traveling world champion. Then you're like almost like old school Ric Flair where you wrestle on every show and you're the man. And you got Paul Heyman and stuff. And I'm sure that's the idea they came up with. And listen, that's a good idea on paper. But I don't know how much that's going to exhaust Reigns to have to be on all the shows.
Yeah.
On Monday, Thursday. Now, again, Flair, Hogan, a lot of people, Warrior, Savage, they all did it back in their day. They were on Superstars and Challenge, and then when they were on Raw, they had to be at house shows the next night. Listen, the schedule ain't going to kill these guys, but COVID is still out there, so I'm curious if they're going by like kind of the medical reports of how this is going to subside probably by summer, them thinking that maybe at WrestleMania they can maybe like phase the belt out of Drew. I just think Drew is just disappointed them as champion, and they probably convinced him that, listen, there's no shame in getting beat by Goldberg. Goldberg beat The Fiend. Goldberg beat The Rock back in the day. I'm sure they sold it to Drew. I almost can picture Drew in the office going, you think this is like the best move for me to lose? Yeah.
I definitely feel like that's what he's doing.
Yeah, you can almost totally picture it, like, because Drew wants to do the right thing and he wants to be a top guy so bad. Even when I saw him on the interview with Austin, he was just talking about how he never wants to go back to just being on the card, that this is it. Once you get this level, you have to stay at this level. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I don't know if you're going to be looked at as a top guy for the rest of your career.
That
but
kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him. A lot of people shit on him. Like my brother's a big hater of Drew McIntyre. I like Drew McIntyre. I think he's missing a little something. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't think American fans, and this is true shit that you're going to hear now too, that you won't hear the podcast today. He coming out in a kilt and Scottish heritage doesn't mean dick on our fucking shores. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean, we all love Braveheart, great movie 25 years ago. We all loved it. We all love Ghostbusters too, but we don't want to dress up like them. That's why Kushida dresses as Back to the Future. It was So they're trying to resonate a movie that was 25 years ago with Mel Gibson, with heritage that's not part, by the way, of our country. Okay, that's Scottish, Irish, English heritage. That has nothing to do with us. So American show, like when it comes out in the skirt and puts the sword down and stuff, American fans are like, it doesn't connect. It doesn't fucking connect. If you're a Highlander, maybe it connects. But I'm saying it doesn't work. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. So again, I was surprised they put the kilt back on him because all they're doing is disconnecting him from the American culture fan. Because even if you have Scottish heritage, even if I have Irish heritage, my mom was born in Ireland, but I don't connect to this dude at all. I just don't. I think that, again, they want, look at the bet. Brett was a Canadian, but that's a little bit different. Canada's our next door neighbor. But when you're coming out and you're doing all the Scottish culture, kilts and swords and Celtic warrior and stuff, it's not going to connect. It's not connecting. It's not. All he is just a guy who's kind of over, who happens to have the title, but he's not special, and that's the problem. You know what I mean? So again, that's why when you look at a guy like Karrion Kross, or even Damian Priest, they have a much better shot. Why? Because they're American-born, farm system built-up characters that are going through the system and going through the motions. Drew did too. Drew came through the farm system, and listen, Vince McMahon declared him this and that. But again, now that he's here and now that he's got it, you can blame COVID all you want. And I think he'd get some good cheers in the arena. But he went from the Scottish psychopath to yucking it up. Do you remember when he lost the title? The next day he was on Raw with his leather jacket on, with his arm around Charlie, saying, hey, you take the good with the bad. I lost the title, but I'm going to get it back. I'm like, dude, be vengeful. Like, go after. Like, you want to kill Randy Orton. He was. Yeah. Did you guys remember that? He was all happy. He was all dressed up.
I can't stand when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, he had no vengeance. Like, Randy beat him, and he was like, I'll get it back. Don't worry. I'm not. Do I look worried that I'm not going to get my title back? I'm like, dude, you're not mad? Like, he was like being charming and trying to be cute with Charlie Caruso. And I'm like, I don't. This is where it's going to fail. This is what they did with John Cena. This is what they did with Roman Reigns. This is the goody guy that doesn't jump anybody from behind, who will do it the right way, and he'll get his vengeance one day. This is not what people want to see. Let him be a badass, And again, I can go on and on about this, but the bottom line is he's not connecting. And again, the Celtic heritage is all good if you are from Scotland, but he's on American soil and he's in American television. And I don't get what they think that people are gonna, show me how many Drew McIntyre shirts sold with him with the kilt on with the sword. I want to see it with the merch sales. How come Roman Reigns, head of the table, is still the number one shirt? How come? He's a heel. Drew is a babyface. Why is Drew not in the top 10 of merch sales? Look it up yourselves, guys. I'm telling you, he's not in the top 10.
And you know what? You saying all that is what everybody on the internet that likes to whine and bitch and complain whenever Vince doesn't push their favorite wrestler. They have to take all that stuff into consideration. If you want a certain wrestler to succeed, watch them on a TV show. Buy their merchandise. Mm-hmm. You got to be consistent. You can't just whine and bitch about, Vince is not using that guy. How about watch him on TV and then maybe he'll get used? How about buy his merchandise? Support the movement. You know what I'm saying? I get so sick and tired of seeing people bitch on the internet about that kind of stuff, only to, not really support them and stuff like that. I can't stand that.
That's really what it is. It's again, if he is a number one guy, why is he not top 5 merch seller? When Austin, Brett, all these guys, Heart Foundation, they're on top. They were selling merch. I mean, Rock was selling. Again, Drew McIntyre is not a top merch seller. That's scary to me because he's been champion and been a top guy for a while now. A year almost. What is it? Well, he hasn't caught on yet. He should have caught on in July. So it's like, it's not his fault, COVID. And listen, my whole career has been changed because of COVID. I haven't done a concert. I was just telling somebody the other day, when Kev, what's the first show back you're going to book when we get concerts back? I go, I almost forgot how to book. Someone's going to have to teach me how to do it. I've been doing it. I've been doing shows 28 years. I've booked over 5,000 shows. And if you guys ask me tomorrow, put a lineup together with a time frame and a staff, I'd be like, can you give me like a week? I almost forgot how to do my job. So it's like, it's been a while. Like it is like riding a bike, but to jump right back into it, sometimes it doesn't click right away. But when you're in the spotlight, when you're a solo act and you're the guy dependent on to be the guy, you can't have too many off nights, and you can't. They can't wait too long on you because again, people will say, well, the days of one guy carrying a company are over. The days of Austin carrying the company, Goldberg, the NWO, it's now the sum of all parts put together. I believe that to a degree, but I also believe that if you were to not have Roman Reigns, do a house show. No Roman Reigns, right? No Fiend, right? No Finn Balor, no Adam Cole, no all this stuff, and just have Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and stuff. You'll have hundreds instead of thousands of people there, and that's not what. Again, so you can be like everybody matters. It all counts. It's a team thing. Yeah, but there's top players on this team, and those guys got to be able to draw because they got to know when Drew is on the card. Oh, it's going to be a big house tonight. Not like Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode can be like, whether Drew's on the card or not, we have it's like same crowd here. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to look to leadership of your champion. I'm sorry though, I don't believe that. I've had arguments with other podcasters about this, and I don't know. I'm curious to see what you younger guys think. Does who's the world champion still ultimately matter as the focal point of the company?
Yes, it does. It has to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It has to.
I've had older guys my age disagree and go, but the days of Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Randy, Carey, that's larger than life, Andre the Giant. Those guys don't exist anymore. I'm like, no, but I'm sorry, I don't agree. I think that we'll never have another Steve Austin. I didn't say we'll have Steve Austin, but we can't have a guy who, like, look at Reigns. It took him heel, and now listen, the numbers are pretty good. 3 million viewers, 2.5. Not bad numbers for SmackDown. Now, compared to Austin, it's embarrassingly low, of course. But take Reigns out of the picture. I mean, you lose 1 million viewers. Isn't that guy then a draw? So again,
absolutely.
I think that you do have to. A champion still is a focal point of the title, and people go, well, if that's the case, then Vince is making a huge mistake putting the belt on Goldberg because. When was the last time you saw anybody rock a Goldberg shirt? And I was like, I'll be honest with you, I
never.
Have you guys in years? I mean, in the 90s, I did. I have to admit, in the 90s, at shows that I worked, like working the door and stuff, wrestling fans were coming in all the time. A lot of ECW shirts. And yes, Goldberg and NWO shirts, big time. But in the last 20 years, I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw a Goldberg shirt.
Kevin. You brought up Stone Cold and his numbers. I was doing some cleaning, and I found, remember that Stone Cold shirt where it was half face, half Terminator?
Oh yeah, of course.
I was like 4 or 5 years old. I remember I literally picked the shirt up. I'm like, oh my god, I literally remember wearing this shit. Like, like you said, me personally, Stone Cold, Rock, never get any bigger stars than that. Never. I don't think so. Just that whole Limp Bizkit video package for them, nothing's gonna get better than that. I don't see it, honestly. I can't believe I'm facing facts, but I guess that won't be Drew and Roman. I thought that they were on their way. It's crazy how you say on paper it looks Drew does look like the champion that can lead it. He's a monster, I think, but yeah. It's just crazy. It's just crazy when you really just sit down and with all the logistics you look at, it's just like, shit, well, I'm sorry. We just have to really face facts here.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's like what I was saying earlier, and I didn't mean to cut you off, RJ, but it's like I was saying earlier, it's like they're not booking Drew the right way, compared to Roman. Because again, I don't know if Roman has creative control or maybe a little input on how his character looks, but
he might.
It's like it's like what Kev said. It's like the guy just lost his title and he's flirting with a girl. He's like, I'll get my title back. Don't worry, it's no big deal. It's like, no, he should be like, Randy, next time I see you, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. I'm taking my title back. Randy, I'm gonna take my title back. Don't put your arm around Charlie and be like, it's okay, we lost. I'll get to that to that.
And you guys notice Drew never has a hair out of place, and his beard is on point. The Just for Men shit, his leather jacket, nice looking clothes. They're turning him into that guy. They're turning him into that baby face.
That corny baby face.
That corny baby face. Like I said, you see him come in the arena, leather jacket on, nice shirt. Like I said, not a hair out of place. He never looks mussed up or grizzled or coming in with a shit. Looks like he's unkept, because he's all fucked up. And again, they're making him a pretty boy. And I know some girls who like him and think he's a good looking guy, whatever. And listen, that works. There's a lot of female fans, and you got to cater to them too. And he's a very large big man, sick physique, so kids will look up to him like kind of like a superhero. But he's going to lose that male demo of 18 to 45. They're going to be like, yeah, I mean, I know, man, I don't like him now. He's like all about like, and he's not even like dressing up like cool, like in a suit, like Ric Flair. He's just being like this jovial guy, and hey, Charlie, and trying to be cute and say funny things, and comes off corny, and he doesn't get mad unless you physically jump him in the back. And again, when I saw him on the Austin thing, he's missing something. I don't know what it is. I think Steve was easy on him in the interview, to be honest with you. I think because Steve learned his lesson from putting the screws to Dean Ambrose. But so
Wait,
yeah, I
what-
don't think Steve wants to.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
He was easy on Drew, where he wasn't like telling Drew like, if I liked you more when you were a badass. Like he told Moxley that time when Dean Ambrose was hard on Ambrose, saying, you gotta kind of carve your own path and separate yourself from the Shield, have your own identity, catchphrases, connect to the fans. I wanted to kind of see him say that to Drew and ask him, do you think you're connecting to the fans? Do you think the Scottish psychopath was more you, or this is you? Like,
Right.
and bringing back the kilt, like, was that your idea? And the sword, the Celtic heritage, you think that connects to a modern audience? Especially being on American soil, you think that's a disconnect with Celtic history, with Americans? Like, I was, and Austin didn't ask him any of that. Austin's just like, so you enjoying your ride and enjoy it, as long as it lasts. It doesn't last forever. And I'm just like, I wish Austin did, because he doesn't want to get anybody pissed at him, because that was such a controversial thing that he did to Ambrose. By the way, I didn't think it was bad at all, taking him to task and telling him to you got to set yourself apart from everybody else and come up with, not just a good finish, but just a good character that's never been seen before. Make something your own. Because one thing I'll say is, can you guys honestly say, and I was thinking about it too, I can always say when a certain wrestler reminds me of another wrestler. Does Drew McIntyre remind you guys of anybody? I can't put my finger on heel, babyface, yesteryear, or modern. Do you think of any influence when you see Drew McIntyre?
Personally, no.
Yeah, me either. I can't put my
Me neither.
Yeah, I can't.
No.
So I won't say he's copying anybody, but maybe that's the problem, is he doesn't have an identity. Like, he's just Drew McIntyre. But what exactly is that? My brother does say that a lot on Twitter. I don't know what Drew is. So he's but what? So now he's the Scottish warrior. Like, what was he before? And then, like, he was, and why is it always Scottish this, Scottish psychopath or whatever? We know he's from Scotland. And maybe, does he insist upon that, or does the company want to push that? Because when they go to Europe, it's a big deal when he goes over to Scotland or Ireland or England, that he's a big draw. I don't really know. But again, I think that's a fair question. What is Drew McIntyre's thing? He's Scottish. We get that. But I have friends who are from Scotland. They weren't walking around in New York with a kilt on, and they didn't have a sword fetish. So again, is that all we think about? We think of Scotland as Braveheart. Isn't that kind of like just when we think of Irish, all we think is what, bars, drinking. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like I mean, again, is that how narrow-minded the WWE is? And it's like, you know what? Just push the Braveheart thing. Everybody's seen that movie. That's really the only movie Americans really know when it comes to Scotland. So it's
Do you think that's a Bruce idea?
Yes, I believe it is a Bruce idea. Absolutely. I think that's the problem. And I think Vince is listening to him. I mean, again, and Bruce still does podcasts with Conrad, but very softball questions. And of course, Conrad doesn't want to fuck up his friendship with Bruce. He's got a connection in the WWE. I mean, he ain't going to want to mess that up. So even when I listen to Ask Bruce Anything questions on Conrad's podcast, it's not any kind of hard, but no one even challenges his WWE booking. It's all like yesteryear questions. So what'd you think of Outback Jack back in the day? It's like, who cares? It's like, because he knows that Bruce can't answer certain things. And, but I think it is Bruce. I think Bruce is like, listen, fucking, Braveheart. That's like a classic movie everybody loves, like on the level of like Star Wars. Everybody knows that movie. It's like, yeah, but I don't think people want to see that. And that's why when Kushida came in trying to be Marty McFly, I'm like, we all like the movies, but that doesn't mean we want our wrestlers to emulate guys in movies. I mean, if that was the case, again, we'd have a Ghostbusters trio or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'd have guys come out with the packs on. I ain't afraid of no ghosts, and we can do the whole gimmick.
I ain't afraid of
And,
those.
Dexter Loomis is haunting someone. They're gonna go get the Ghostbusters guys. Like we can have guys from every movie and copy. It would be copyright problems, obviously, but
Oh yeah.
but if we're gonna ape off these movies, I think that's because everyone's like, well, everyone's seen that. That's like, when Outback Jack, I just mentioned him. You guys are probably too young to remember that, but you maybe saw it on clips. Crocodile Dundee was a big sensation here in 1986, 87 here in America. And everyone was, Australians were like popular. If you knew an Australian, it was great. It was almost like they were from like from outer space, and they just came down. And Crocodile Dundee, so they brought this guy over, Outback Jack, who sucked in the ring, but he had the accent and he was big, and he can wrestle an alligator. But he didn't get over because everyone distinguished that if I want to see this, I'll go see the movie. I don't want to see this guy in wrestling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
WWE and Bruce, who was back around then, Bruce Pritchard back in the day with McMahon. So again, they're outdated, antiquated ideas. That again, I just think when I see Drew come out in the kilt and the sword, I'm cringing because I know this is not. If this was a live arena, this would not get over.
So
this would not get over. Putting the
So
sword
I have
in
a
the thing,
I have a
like,
question for
was
you,
he
Kev.
He-Man? I don't
Right.
get that. I don't get the whole gimmick.
He's Beowulf.
It just makes no sense,
But I have a question though. So does that mean that he's half-assing like the scripts? Is he half-assing ideas?
No, I just think he's going by what they tell him. I don't believe for a second that he said, "Hey, let me just push this Scottish heritage thing." I think they're telling him that. They're telling him like, "Yeah, come out with the sword." And I'm surprised he hasn't come out with face paint on like Mel had in the movie.
You know what?
Don't be surprised.
No bullshit. Yeah, no bullshit.
As they
He's
say
right.
the saying, "Your lips to God's ears." I would not be surprised if he came out in face war paint. Maybe even versus Goldberg.
Oh, you're right.
He might come out with the horse too.
The thing with Goldberg is
you.
just Vince is convinced that he's still a star and can still walk.
Oh.
Yeah, they couldn't get John Cena or anybody to do this, and Kurt Angle is just too broken down. And again, they just look to Goldberg because he's a guy that Vince thinks that the fans believe can beat Drew, but they know that he can't beat Reigns. So, but Roman will benefit from all this, by the way. Just poor Drew is. I don't know what happens if they unify the titles. I think Drew just becomes another guy on the card. But again, they could change it. I could be totally wrong. Listen, again, no one saw this coming with Drew and Goldberg, so it's all guesstimations. Often it's more fun like that because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of segueing into the next topic to kind of close the show off. Cardi B.
Oh boy,
Cardi B on.
Sorry.
What was it? Raw.
Yeah.
She put out that she was getting a lot of wrestling tweets, and she's like, I haven't watched the show in a while. And when I was watching, it was guys like Guerrero and Kurt Angle and Triple H, blah blah, and Trish Stratus, and a couple people. Well, not just a couple, but more than a couple. Like Trish Stratus replied, Carmella replied, because Carmella's like a big Cardi B fan, and Cardi B shouted her out. A lot of other people like Melina, and then Lacey Evans. The talk, I have the tweets right here. So she replied to something Cardi B said, where she's saying, what the fuck, WTF? This is not how my WWE debut was supposed to be. Vince McMahon, count your fucking days. And then Lacey Evans quoted it by saying, "Careful what you wish for, you nasty. We aren't Nicki Minaj. You'll get sent home with more than just a busted eye."
Wow.
Cardi B replied with, and this is how you can tell she doesn't get it. A white woman can never put the fear on me, sweetie. Got me fucked up. I was showing love to WWE the whole night yesterday. I don't know where the fuck you came from with your unnecessary bullshit. And Lacey Evans replied with, bless your heart, Cardi B. You got it all wrong. I heard debut and was giving you a friendly heads up. But since you want to be a badass, keep me in mind when/if you show up to WWE. I'll kick your ass while listening to your music. # pull up.
Oof.
Oh, God.
I didn't get that. I didn't see that that last one. I didn't see that. She said
Oh, yeah.
hashtag pull up. Damn, yo, Audrey, she used New York slang on us. Nah, that was disrespectful. Cardi, you better get in that. You better get in that gym. There's no way you're gonna. We can't let this fly. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Absolutely
It's like-
not.
It's like
Nah.
I put on
First off,
Twitter.
you got work. You got worked off from kayfabe, and then you gonna say some stupid shit. Come on, Cardi.
Well, it's also because, like I said on Twitter earlier, it's like Lacey actually killed people. Like she was in the military.
Seriously.
She actually killed people. Cardi B.
Mhm.
I don't know what her background is. I mean, maybe she is tough, but it's just like someone who actually killed motherfuckers, as opposed to somebody who's, I don't know, maybe gotten a few fights. It's
Just a hip hop artist, basically.
yeah, and
Hey, Cardi B a blood now. I don't know now. Maybe she might have done a little something. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Where's she from, Cardi B?
She's from New York.
Is she from New York? Is she? I didn't know.
Yeah, she's from Harlem, I believe.
Is she? Wow. Okay.
hmm
I didn't even know. I never heard any of her songs. If I did, it was like I was oblivious to it. But I don't know. I don't know a lot about her. But I saw pictures of her, and I know what she physically looks like. I never heard her sing though. Is she on the level of? She's not as big as like Beyonce or anybody like that, right?
I mean, as far as like current popularity, she's up
Yeah,
there.
I would
She's up
say
there.
so. I would say so.
She's more
She's
like
like-
a Nicki
she's-
Minaj, but Beyonce's like the ultimate, right? But
Yeah,
like-
Beyonce's
yeah.
ultimate.
she'd be like if Beyonce's world title, she'd be IC title.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
You know, because Beyonce's got years.
Yeah, no, I figured like I've heard the name over the years. Was she the one that was bragging that when she was dancing, she'd rob guys in the back?
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's her.
That was
I know
her.
that is okay.
like she
I
would
heard that on
drug,
radio.
like she would drug men and then take their stuff from them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, I remember you doing that.
yeah.
I was like surprised that someone said that. It was in the like that's just so crazy.
Like
But,
so openly.
Yeah, I think Lacey Evans was trying to get. I mean, I read the initial stuff, and I think what Lacey was trying to do was just bait her with like kayfabe and stuff like that. And Cardi B wasn't playing because she didn't know Lacey and didn't know her as a character or of her at all. I think that was.
Mhm.
I think Cardi B said, "I'm from the Trish Stratus, Lita, Melina, Mickey James days," and right there, she wouldn't know Lacey Evans. So again, wrestling fans were a little cooler than her fans were because wrestling fans are like, Cardi B fans taking the bait. They don't even get kayfabe and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if you guys get kayfabe. I think all of you get it. Because they're like, how did she not hear of Lacey Evans? She's been on major TV show for 2 years, and I'm like, because she doesn't watch the product anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I totally believe that Cardi B's like, I don't know you. She
Me too. I definitely agree.
And Lacey
Yep.
Evans was trying to, and I'm sure maybe Lacey tried to drop her DM or a private message saying, "Listen, just play the game. It's a game." And Cardi B's probably like, "I don't even know who you are, so I'm not gonna. I only play a game with someone I heard of." You know what I mean? Like maybe if Trish Stratus did it, maybe she would have did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Cardi was being like you almost said, kind of like a streety, hard type of girl who like you don't know me, so I'm not going to play with you. So
Yeah,
again,
right, exactly.
if it was Lita or Trey, I think Cardi B would have been like, "Yeah, girl, when I see you."
You know,
I think that's what happened. I think Lacey played her cards wrong, but I give her credit for making the attempt because Cardi B's got 16 million fucking rabid followers.
yeah.
Lacey Evans has 400,000. So that would be like, let's be honest, it would be like JD from New York, the podcaster, starting a fight with John Cena. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that would be,
Yeah.
all right, you want to take him on. Good luck with his 9 million followers who are going to kill you now. And I think JD learned that the hard way when he messed with Alexa Bliss and he got bombarded. Apologize. No, let's be honest. This podcast is, we'll say a little comments, but if you want to get into a war with even a wrestler with someone who's much bigger than you and has fans that will literally dox you if they can to get
Yep.
back at you, you have to kind of know what you're getting into. You got to kind of know in the back.
Yeah.
So I think, but
Yep.
Lacey's like, I'm a WWE girl, and if Cardi B even gets mad at me, I'm sure Trish or Melina or someone will tell, "Oh no, Lacey's cool people, don't worry about it." And maybe that even happened over the course of days. Maybe someone reached out to Cardi B and said, "Oh, Lacey's one of the girls. She was just working a thing. Don't take offense." And maybe they squashed it. That's why nothing really more today was
Right.
But I think that Cardi B was just playing that street card that if you don't know me, I'm not playing with you. And that's why I believe that was a shoot. I don't believe that was a work at all. I believe it was totally real.
Yeah.
And I saw some podcasts and no names mentioned, but we don't know if that's. I'm like, yes, we do because we live in New York. We, you know what I mean? I'm from this town. You guys, what are you guys from this? I mean, you, Monty.
Yeah, I'm from New York City, born and raised, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, again, and even you don't have to necessarily be from New York. I mean, you just street smarts, and I shake my head at the lack of street smarts with certain podcasters. And I'm just like, dude, it's a fucking shoot. This is the work. This is the shoot. I bet my life on it. Now, but because if something does come of Cardi B coming and then having an angle with Lacey, it came out of Lacey making an attempt that might have failed on the surface, but maybe works in the future.
In the long run, right?
Yeah, in the long run, yeah, man. It's again, you got to remember these people have agents; they can reach out to each other. Hey, I got a friend who works with Cardi B. I'll give her a call, let her know.
Yeah.
We all assume that we don't see it on Twitter, so it's left off like that. I guarantee it's squashed already. I guarantee it. I got news for you. You're not going to squash anything on Twitter. You're probably going to have to make a phone call.
Yeah, probably. And it's when you said that too, she was shouting out I think she was shouting when she shouted out Melina and all them, like Trish and Melina, like they added her back, that's so that's dope. I'm a fan. And then she Cardi B would respond back and be like, oh my god, this bitch just made my day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how that's how she is. So she would tweet something she like you said, there was just no way you could just tell just by the way she was, just by her tweet alone, how she worded it. She wasn't just, I don't know you, so chill. I was trying to have a good time, trying to reminisce on my old nostalgic WWE times, and I don't know who you are.
Exactly.
Who are you?
She even at one point said no more WWE talk because I think maybe even someone even told her it's going to get out of hand now.
Right.
Because the wrestling fans are going to go after your fans. It's going to get out of hand.
Right.
And everything that's going on right now is probably, again, Cardi B could say crazy things, but I'm sure she's just like, listen, I just was playing around with some wrestlers. I don't want to get into a feud with wrestlers.
Right. Exactly.
Nothing. She doesn't need the props. You know what I'm saying? And WWE, whether they work, she's definitely going to be at WrestleMania. First of all, there's no evidence of that whatsoever.
Right.
And if she is, what is she going to do at WrestleMania? We don't even know if there's going to be a crowd.
Right.
What would Cardi B do? Sing the national anthem from a Zoom call? I mean, what is she going to do?
Yeah.
That'd probably be pretty funny though.
I actually think Cardi B's probably too big to do that. To be honest with you, don't you?
No, not gonna lie, Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Unless it's an arena full of people, why do you think The Rock is not being involved in this year's WrestleMania? Because he wants people there. They're waiting for the shit to come back. Let me tell you something. If COVID was over now, that fucking Drew McIntyre would not be wrestling Goldberg. He'd be wrestling The Rock or fucking John Cena. They would be able to get one of those two to come back because there would be a fucking 90,000 people in a goddamn fucking stadium. The only reason we're going with Goldberg is because he's got almost like a movie deal. He's got a 2 to 3 deal appearance a year that he has to have 2 to 3 matches. So guess what? This is match number 1 of a 3-match contract. Now, match number 2 will probably be against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and maybe we'll have one more and then call an official retirement with match number 3 by the end of the year when crowds come back and Goldberg can go out on his terms, quote unquote, my finger quotes. Everyone likes to do that. Wrestler going out on their terms. That sounds great, but when do any of us get to go out on any terms?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the 3. He's got a 3-match deal. That I know for a fact. Match 1, Drew, Rumble. 2, Reigns, WrestleMania, probably. And 3 will be his last appearance, maybe Survivor Series or something for the end of the year, where you will never see him in the ring again. That'll be it for him. So hold on tight. You got one more year of Goldberg.
No.
One can only hope. All right. That kind of tops everything we had to talk about tonight. Is there anything else? Is there anything else anyone wanted to add? We got about 36 minutes until Spreaker cuts us off.
Nah, man. I had a ball.
Oh, damn, me too. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Me too, man. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, as always, getting all the guys together, just chopping it up. Just Kevin, like I said before, being a fan of yours for a long, long time, just me and you being mentioned in the same sentence, let alone being on the same show, that's a big honor. Always a big honor and a pleasure. And
I'm always surprised because I was told I didn't factor into any success of my previous show. So
no, I'm not gonna. Hey, man, This is my first like interaction ever, man, and I have the pleasure. The true pleasure.
I'm just kidding. Drew knows I always have to take a hidden shot.
I know, right? hey, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. I ain't no pie shot, no nothing. I'm gonna just shoot it straight.
Facts.
There would be no Don Tony and Kevin Castle show without Kevin Castle, and I'm gonna just drop that bomb right there, right now, because there was times over the years where like I was just hooked on what you had to say most of the time. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like listening to your story because, you know, Don Tony had this, you know, breakfast with Blasey for all those years. And I kind of wanted to hear your side of the story and stuff like that. So, like, just like I said, just hearing you on other shows now in present time and just being able to talk and conversate with you, it's definitely a breath of fresh air and stuff like that. Just to get to talk to Kevin Castle, the man, you know, instead of just, you know, Don Tony and, you know, okay, here's Kevin just talking for a couple of, you know, minutes here and then Don Tony taking over, blah, blah, blah. I might get heat, and I don't think I would ever get invited to do any shows with Don Tony, but it is what it is.
You're not going to get heat. It'll all be taken out of me. But,
good Lord.
And I don't give a fuck. But, I mean, again, I'm doing this a long time. I built bridges. I never burned any, so I'll be fine. But I enjoy doing different shows. I love doing the show with Anthony for the most part until like anything else. Like it's, you know, until things get rocky, then, you know, it's uncomfortable because, again, there's like the tension and stuff. And again, and sometimes I can't put my finger on it. And you know why and you don't know why at the same time. It's just sometimes things run their course. But I think, you know, when we do still get together, and if you've heard, and Drew's probably heard Patreon stuff that me, Anthony, and Mish have done, and it's fine. You wouldn't even know there was ever a problem, or there was a problem, or there is a problem, because we be professionals. Because again, you know, the one thing we do have in common is, along with Jason Solomon and Mish to a degree, we were some of the first guys to do wrestling podcasts.
Exactly.
Before anybody. Right. So I mean, I'm part of that elite group. No matter what, no one can take that away from me.
Founded father.
Yeah, no one can take that away. Not anybody can smoke screen it or whatever. But if you have a brain in your head, you'll be like, I've been listening to this dude since like 2007. I know he's been here since day one. So it's like I don't care. Again, you know, form your own opinions about stuff. And again, just like me, you know, everyone has their kind of favorites in podcasts, their favorite players or their favorite wrestlers. Not everybody likes the same people. It's the same thing. Podcasts is preference. And I never got offended when anybody says, you know, I prefer Don Tony. That's fine. You know, I don't. But the best was when they preferred both of us, or like the show overall was always. I found that to be great because I was always a team member. I was always part of a team. Just like when my brother came along, I didn't say to myself, "Gee, I hope my brother doesn't take any of my thunder away." My brother had more of the pressure on him because he was my brother, and everybody expected him to know as much as me, since they heard all the stories of him going around me as my little brother to wrestling, and me taking my brother to wrestling when we were kids. And I was kind of like my brother's supervision because I'm 3 years older than Draper. So the pressure was on John. It wasn't on me. And my brother had to sink or swim kind of on his own. And I didn't coddle him or help him or to a degree I did, but more the soup guys helped nurture him. But Anthony helped me in the beginning, but mostly I had to fly on my own. No one coddled me. And also, listen, I'm talking about something I love, which is wrestling. And that was up to me to be schooled in that, or I didn't deserve to be on the show. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like getting a teacher's degree, and should you be in the classroom teaching kids when you don't know history or what you're talking about? I never felt inferior to be on anybody's show that they knew more. But not that I know more than you, but I am so schooled in it. I could have like 3 master's degree in wrestling history, and I don't need to look. I don't need to look it up on Wikipedia. I was actually there. So you know, like when you say Magnum TA versus Nikita Koloff, I was there. I seen it. I went to NWA. I went to Florida Championship Wrestling. I booked my vacations based around where wrestling was going to be. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're that kind of fan, then great. You're just like me. So that's why I never felt I don't deserve to be. You know, my weakness was probably production, as Drew knows. But on air talent and knowledge and how to talk, I don't think anybody can take me on. And I say that not arrogantly, but I say that that's why
you did it with confidence.
Yeah, and I know that's why I'll be fine in podcasting. I get offers all the time, but I also want to, at my age and at this stage and stuff, I have to keep going up. If I take a step backwards, that's only just because I want to. But I want to do my own thing too. I don't aspire to do anything solo. Anything you guys see from me will be with a partner, maybe two partners, trio, a new round table, or even I'm doing something with a female co-host that has nothing to even do with wrestling. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing my own stuff, and I'm happy for everybody. Everybody does their own thing. That's why I come on Drew's show. RJ, you guys want to have me on your show, I'll gladly come on. Because I'm all about, I can't speak for anybody else, but I have no problem with helping elevate the new podcast generation. Other people fear the competition. I welcome it because, again, you're going to sink or swim basically based on if your show is good or not. No one's taking fans away from anybody. If you put out good product and you have fun on your show and you actually convey a good time, people will tune in. So that's my best advice I can give to anybody,
And Kevin, I feel like that's exactly what me and RJ always try to preach, man. It's like, I will never try to hate on somebody to the left or to the right of me. I'm here for this ride, and I'm going to see what I can do to take it as far as it can go. And like you said, at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. That's all you really want to do. Like, at the end of the day, we were four gentlemen just trying to chop it up on how we feel about wrestling, about what we just saw. So everybody has an opinion, so it's like nobody should be upset. It just gives us more to discuss. And I feel like we always say this: everybody eats. Everybody got to eat. So
everybody's got to eat. And the one thing I like about you guys is you guys got you guys got good radio voice. Like I could tell, I'll tell you right now, if you didn't, I'll be honest with you. You both sound good. So again, just kind of work on, go from there, project that you're having a good time, which seems legit with you two guys. You guys seem legit friends, which also helps too. Because again, I can tell you right now, if we lost fans over the years, with me and DT, our mistake was making audience feel like we had tension between each other, and that was a mistake because we don't have to, and no one wants anybody to be a phony and like, oh, we all really love each other, but they want the team, like, be a team. Don't be in love with each other, but work well together. Fucking put out that product that we know. We don't want to hear about any fucking bitch fest or I'm mad. Who leave that shit on the side and almost like put your best game on the field and take care of that stuff off the field.
Right.
And that's the one thing I learned from what went down with me that I would never do again. I'd never partake again in anything like that because it makes the audience feel uncomfortable. And when they feel uncomfortable, you know what they do? Oh, let me go see what Jason Solomonster's doing. Let me go later for these guys. That's a mistake. And I think make everybody feel comfortable and inclusive and not us versus them because it doesn't work. And people want to tune in to have a good time, not to hear your problems.
Right.
And like, with Kevin, not to like kiss up or anything, but it's just like, as long as I've known you, I've always aspired to have that kind of reputation of like, I want people to listen to me and feel like, oh, I can relate to him. Like he comes off as just a guy. He's not trying to make it all about him. Yeah. It's like, it's like what you just said. It's like a lot of podcasters have that mentality, and I don't want to mention names or anything, but it's just like they have that mentality of like, okay, so if I have you on my show, or if I'm on your show, how is this going to benefit me? Like that's not me, and that should never be anyone's mentality. I have RJ on the show because I love RJ.
Thanks. That's exactly how it should be.
I have Monty on the show because I love Monty. I consider him
and you guys are like
it's family.
Younger generation, and no names mentioned, and it's not even who you think, it's other people. People would say to me, but if you, how does that benefit you to go on this or that show if they still don't have an audience? And I'm like, because you're helping assist people. It doesn't matter if even 10, 20 people listen to the show tonight, they could tell a few people. It's like telephone, and I actually believe in that. And believe it or not,
I agree.
The club business, I started out booking shows where like maybe 20 people were in the crowd, and then years later I'm working with Hatebreed to sold out fucking couldn't even fit another person in the door, and doing record release parties for major bands like Mastodon and big national acts. You got to start out somewhere, and I think people lose their way like that. And it's like, what's in it for me? What's it? Fun? Is that good enough for you? I mean, what do you want? Money? What do you want? A blow job? What do you want? Someone says, what's in it for me? I said I'm having fun, and also I'm making new friends, and I don't get Again, this us versus them thing.
And
This is not, it's fucking wrestling podcast. It's not a gang fight.
Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
not.
And another thing I was going to say is, like, as your audience and your popularity grows, share the wealth. It's like Monty said, everybody's got to eat. Everybody should eat. For example, I don't know if you guys have heard of this podcast, the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Not familiar with it.
They're these two black guys. You can find their podcast pretty much anywhere. And it's just, again, it's like us. They're these two guys. You can tell they're really close. They're really good friends. And they're just talking about wrestling. They're talking about things that they like. And you can tell that they're enjoying, Raw, even though not a lot of other people are enjoying Raw. They're enjoying SmackDown. And they're just having fun. And, I listened to their show once, and I was immediately entertained, because I was like, these guys just seem like they're entertained.
Mm-hmm.
And, me as a listener, I'm entertained too. And, I posted their show on Twitter. I was like, hey, I just listened to the show. You should check these guys out. They're really good. And again, I didn't do it as a way of like, oh, this is going to benefit me. This is going to put me up there with Joe Rogan. Like, no, I'm not. I don't give a fuck about that. I did it because I like the show. And, one of the guys was actually already following me on Twitter even before that. And I had no clue he was a podcaster. So I listened to his show and I was like, this is really good. A lot of other people should listen to the show. So, and that's how I look at it, because I don't want to sound like I'm, blowing myself, but it's just like my show, I think, has gotten bigger. It's, the audience has grown and the popularity has grown. So,
well, honestly, if you can blow yourself, that might give you a different kind of audience. Seriously, but no, exactly. I mean, again,
you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong, but you gotta give back, and I think if I learned that from anybody, and I give credit to anybody for teaching me to give back and be generous with my time or help people out, it would be Mish. Anthony Missionary Thomas, you guys know Mish from Wrestling Soup.
Mish.
He's a guy who, again, has been there for me. Through all the trials and tribulations that went through last year, and did not side with anybody. He was always my friend and made sure that I knew that, and that he was not taking sides. And him working with DT was not going to cause any friction with me. But we're as good of friends as we've ever been. And he again has walked me through recording processes and stuff where other people were impatient, didn't want to do anything, show me anything. He has been great with me, and again, and been encouraging for me to go on and do other things because he believes in me, and thinks anything I kind of put my mind to, I can be successful at. And again, he doesn't say, well, I'm not going to put Kev over too much because it'd be a threat to me down the road. He doesn't think like that. And if I learned that kind of attitude, it would be from Anthony Missionary Thomas, who's a great guy to deal with in podcasting. Probably my favorite person next to Jason. From a bigger level, I'm talking about is podcasting. And if you can befriend anybody, it would be who of you to be friends with Anthony, with Missionary, and with Jason Soul Monster, who I think would always give you the time of day if you had any questions. And if they can help you, they'll help you. So other people who probably won't even return your email. But those two guys will absolutely, if they can, they help you. And again, to put him over big time, he deserves it, would be Mish. So he's a good go-to guy that made a lot of things that were kind of awful for me a lot better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's always been the MVP guy to me, just being a guy looking on the outside, looking in, from the outside looking in. He's always been that guy, from the tech, the tech
just
standpoint.
His bedside manner. You'll never catch him where he's annoyed to hear from you, or it's a problem that you hit him up. It's again and that's what I try to be. And listen, I get hit up all the time for stuff, and I'll even tell people, listen, if you want to, technically I can't help you with shit. I'm not good at that. Mitch is good, but if you need advice, like just even topics, or should I lead with this? What do you think about this? Or I heard a rumor. You think I should bring it up on my show? I have no problem in telling people. I would do that. I wouldn't do that. And maybe I'd stay away from that. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing, you need mentors in this business. I think there's not enough because everyone, it's like wrestling, man. It's like people holding on to their spot. You know what I mean? It really is. And even me, as long as I'm in the game, I even find some people like a little off weird with me, and there's no reason to be. Right now, I'm not even on a mainstream show. I mean, my only show I do right now is on a Patreon. But when I get back into the mainstream, I'm gonna plug everybody and give everybody shout outs and stuff who've been there for me and helped me out and stuff. I definitely have a loyalty factor that I probably learned from my father. That again, you don't burn bridges, and that's why I always get a job in the club. Is if I burn as many bridges as I probably should have, I would never be. When COVID's over, I'd have no job opportunities. But I have been cool with everybody even since this shit went down, where everyone's like, "Yo, as soon as things are up and running, Kevin, I can give you a call." I'm like, "All right, cool." With other people who've just like disengaged with everybody, just went their own way. You don't even know if they're alive anymore because you don't even hear from them anymore.
Yeah.
But you try and keep contact with people, and again. Don't start podcasting feuds. No one wants to hear that. And even if you get a few jerk offs who thumbs up you making fun of somebody else, there's about 100 people who are like, "Oh, I don't want that." Later for these guys, they're a bunch of clowns. Because again, your whole thing is an escape for somebody else's problems, not to be engulfed in your problems.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
RJ's like, "Yeah, this guy on another podcast is such a dick," and it's like, do I know him? No. You ever do anything to me? Yeah. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm gonna slam a guy that I don't even know. So it's like I don't know the dude. Good luck. We'll try and. I would encourage people to squash those beefs because, again, again, all you're gonna do is divide fans if they're similar. Oh, I'm not listening to that show anymore because he dissed my boy. And believe it or not, this high school shit goes on in podcasting, but I'll never, ever get involved in that shit again. Not that I wanted to be involved in the first place. But, and also there's like a man kind of thing. Someone's talking shit about you. You want to go murder them. You know what I mean? It's like just a natural reaction. But good thing for certain people that I don't aspire to take showers with men for the next 10 years and have mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes swap on a plastic tray. I'm not big on mashed potatoes every day for a meal. Behind the land of slamming doors, you know what I mean? So it's like that's the only thing that refrains me from getting revenge on people. But the best revenge is to go on and do better things.
Yeah.
That's my advice. And Drew, even you can accomplish great things.
I could.
And you know what?
He said I could.
And I'll
Thank you,
say
Dad.
this, Kevin, that I've always respected you and how you always handled yourself as a character and as a man. And I even try to implement that into my own little persona with the shows that I do and stuff I do with Monty and everything like that. Like I'm always cutting like dry humor jokes and just stupid jokes like you used to do on your show, with Don Tony and everything like that. So I'm kind of biting off your style a little bit.
Wait, I'm sorry, stupid jokes? No, I was just kidding.
Like the one I did the other day where I said that Bronson Reed can move his big ass around.
No, and you said it again, and you just said it again.
Fuck that.
Hey yo.
Oh man, but it's just I just try to implement that and have a good time and make people laugh and just be an overall fun and welcome experience because I think that's the best thing as a listener.
Right.
Especially listening to you guys and listening to Solid Monster and Wrestling Soup all these years, you pick up a lot of different things and you go like, that's things that'll work. And and I think that's definitely some of the best stuff. And you guys are the kings. You guys are the originators.
Totally appreciate that. And again, the best thing you guys can do is kind of not only just cut your own path, but again, be a friendly, inviting type of podcast. Again,
right.
I don't care what. And listen, it works for him, and he's a friend of mine. JD from New York. He's probably one of the most successful podcasts. He's one of the biggest money makers in our business, and he does it by a little bit of a scream and yell and negativity. It works for him. Yeah. If it doesn't work for you, it's going to come off as fake. Everyone's kind of got their own style, and I think that I think if you're a duo, you can't. I mean, obviously, Drew, you're mostly a solo show, but you have guests on all the time, so it's almost like you have partners on the show. But I think a solo show is tough because it's all on you. When you have a duo, you can kind of, one guy's not feeling too good that day, or he's on the show, like got something going on. You can kind of pick each other up. That's what you're supposed to do, at least. Anyway.
Yeah.
But right. It's always good to have point counterpoint. And the one great thing about me and Anthony with Don Tony was we really had different. Like some people even said, you guys on like the air, like, oh, you take the point, I'll take the counterpoint. I'm like, no, we never even talked. That was just raw shit that you heard from us when we had a difference of opinion. It was not planned out. I kind of knew what he was going. Sometimes he'd surprise me, but there'd be times I totally agree. But point counterpoint is always good because then you don't always feel like, and it's always, if you agree, let it go naturally. Like, but if you vehemently disagree, it's always the best kind of radio because you're getting like real good points across.
Yeah.
But the one thing you don't want to do is like upstage your partner on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't do anything either. That's another thing that I would say don't do that. But if you guys generally get along well and stuff, the only thing that could honestly, you know what really hurts podcasting is when you start to blow up and get bigger. And I think that's what might even hurt us a little bit too.
Nah, I think
when we were we were almost like independent wrestlers, and then we became bigger. There was more pressure on. We became more business and money. Money was involved. That's what tensions I think rise when it gets very business oriented.
You touched on a couple of things I wanted to talk about. This might sound funny and cliche-ish, but my mom always told me to never pretend to be something that you're not, and I feel like I'm gonna keep saying what I always say, and I feel like I'm gonna turn this into type of like a motto, like my catchphrase, so to speak. How you was talking about with Austin, I'm gonna always be the original. I'm gonna never duplicate, never replicate, because I don't really care for people to like a fake me. There's no need for it, so why pretend to be something that I'm not? It don't make sense. When I close that door, I go to bed, I'm going to be looking at myself like, wow, you're a clown. You are not who you're saying you are. This is bad. It's going to blow up in your face. So regardless, that's why I always love doing the shows with RJ, and hopefully I can have you, Kev. I will be totally honored. Drew, I need my boy Yari on the show. But honestly, man, it's like, if you like me, cool. If you don't, that's fine. But I'm going to still try to be myself. And I feel like that's where, like you said, that's where it starts to get, I guess, misconstrued in a way, because you start to lose that sight of who you were at one point. And you don't know if you want to just say fuck it and just continue going on what you're doing, or you're like, you know what, should I take a step back and try to reevaluate? But no, man, I think you hit it right on the button with what you were saying.
Well, let me ask you something. How long have you two guys been together on a show now, you and RJ?
Kev, we started this in the summer, in July. My cousin, so I just graduated college. I had an English degree from John Jay College in the city.
Nice.
I minored in creative writing and digital journalism. Like I did a lot of writing. It's funny that you say it. I have hopes and aspirations to be a creative writer at some point. Honestly, I feel like I have that mind ability to really sit down and put that time and dedication to really sit down and write down a whole show. But this is actually really fun. I actually enjoy this a lot more because you meet a lot more people and it's more freely. You get to be comfortable. Like I said, get to be yourself. And no, man, we started in the summer around July, right, RJ?
Yep, around July, early August.
Yeah, and it hasn't even been a full month.
And you know what?
Full year. Sorry.
You know the thing about it, Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Me and him met off a DM.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You want to know over what? An Eddie Guerrero T-shirt that me and him both had.
Right.
Oh, nice. There you go.
and I spent a lot of time in New York, so I never met him at all beforehand.
Right.
So this was kind of crazy, and then like we did one test run on a show, and then like the rest is history, as they like to say.
That's great. Well, how many shows have you guys? What do you do? What is it? Once a week?
Once a week, sometimes even twice. Like it depends on like what we do. Like because sometimes we'll do predictions for certain shows, we'll react to certain shows of something.
Show,
yeah, and then we'll do. Well, we have a series called Brotha Talk, where we just get on and just talk about different things, and just try to answer questions from our fan base, our friend base, and. Yeah, I mean, we just try to cover all bases, and we're always thinking of new ideas to kind of, put in the show and this, that, and the other to try to make it fun and interactive for everybody.
Where do you, who puts your show out? Where do you air your show?
We're everywhere. Spotify, Apple, okay. We're everywhere.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, Spreaker.
What's normally the day that you guys do recording? Or you go record live, or you do a record to tape thing, or you do it live?
We record the tape.
Okay.
Because as soon as we're done, and upload it on, because we use an app called Anchor, okay. And we record it on there. And once we set it up out of there, it's everywhere: Apple, Spotify, Castbox, everywhere you can find podcasts.
Yeah,
Google
Overcast,
Podcasts,
Google Podcasts. Yeah.
I'll check it out
Everywhere.
tomorrow. I'll check it out tomorrow. I have free time tomorrow, so I'll check it out tomorrow.
Okay,
I'll
that's what's up, and we definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
If you want to have me on, just let me know. I'll come on anytime in the next couple of weeks. Just let me know what's the day that works for you. Hit me up with a private message, and we'll work it out. I'll
right.
Yeah, for
Sounds
sure,
good.
for sure.
whatever
Yeah,
you
that
want.
sounds great.
So if I do Drew a favor, I'll definitely do you a favor.
Hey.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.